Yo, 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 yo. All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the live stream. What's poppin'? Does this mean we have you for the next 3.5 hours? You certainly do. Or at least till midnight. Ish. We're going to listen to stories. We're going to chat about nothing. We're going to solve none of the world's problems, and that's okay. Hey, Ginger Spice, thank you. Appreciate you. Thanks for being a fan. I'm finally getting used to the sleep schedule, and it's like life is just, there's just so much better. You're not going to cut off a story at the end of the time at midnight, are you? I mean, maybe, honestly. I end up like not starting as early as I want to because Wednesdays I'll have dinner with my friends and it's like, shit, I gotta go. You like that daylight? I do, bro. It's just like the days are so much longer. You feel normal. Howdy. But yeah, how are you guys doing? What are you thinking about? What's new in your lives? Tell me something. Give me something to talk about for these next 10 minutes here before we allow everybody to wander in. And then we'll begin reading some ghosty stories. You like the yap and it feels kind of like decompression. It certainly is, yeah. Some people aren't like a fan. They're like, when's the stories fucking start, you piece of shit? But that's okay. The Dow's at 50,000. There we go. I guess everything's fine. How was my Easter? Oh, Easter was good. Yeah, I forgot about Easter. It was good. I went to my one friend's place. I went to his sister's place, and I was hiding eggs, which was fun. And then ate dinner with them, and it was awesome. I'm gonna watch Hail Mary. Was it good? I heard it was really good. I keep hearing, some reputable people tell me it's pretty good. I haven't seen it though. I did see the Mario movie. That was good, It was Marmio. Enjoyed the latest episode of Saturn, so excellent job. Thank you. Joy, I discovered your ASMR channel. What the hell? Please bring that back. Yeah, perhaps one day we'll drop a whisper banger over there out of nowhere. My friend that passed gave me a sign from the biplane one night that I was going to Catalina, and it actually happened. Oh shit, what happened? I made a lemon drizzle cake today just because I could. It was delicious. That sounds beautiful. I think more people should just do things because they can. When you realize you have free will, suddenly anything's possible. Oh yeah. But I'll probably talk about this a lot tonight, but I've been getting back into collecting Pokemon cards. I might have mentioned that before. But I did something that you guys might find kind of funny. So I went to like a town over, and then I was supposed to stop at a card shop that was at that town, but they were closed. But then there was an antique store that was like open, so we're like, all right, fuck it, let's go check that place out for Pokemon cards. Went in there, and they had a bunch of like random ones on display, and this place like sells people's like items and stuff like that. And we saw this like Mewtwo card. It was like Team Rocket Mewtwo EX or whatever. And it was marked as like $500, right? But then it was marked down to like $300. And then we're like, we scanned it and we saw that it was worth like somewhere between the range of like 300 to 400. And so we're like, all right, fuck it. So we went up there and we're like, looking at the card, that Mewtwo, kind of interested in that, but we'll give you 200 for it. And so they called the owner of the card that was selling their cards. And then the owner just instantly was like, yeah, 200's good. So I got the card for 200, took it to the card shop that was nearer to me, and then traded that in for $320. And so, like, flipping it from 200 to, getting 320 back and making 120 bucks. Now, granted, I just like took, literally stonks. I took it, I literally just like bought 2 of the ETBs, which are called like Elite Trainer Bundles, which is just like 9 booster packs in each one or whatever. I think it was like the Ascending Heroes, and the other one was like, I don't think it was Surging Sparks, but I think it was something with Pikachu on it. What's my favorite Pokemon? Definitely Dragonite. I've been trying to like collect as many Dragonites as I can. Did I ever do voice acting? I tried to get into it, but it was like finding an agent that can like get me stuff was just, I have no idea how to make that happen. Do I play Magic? I do not. My friend plays Magic the Gathering professionally and seems to really enjoy it, but I never got into it. I don't know how long the Pokemon collection of cards will last, but it's been very addicting, just like cracking packs and going through the meticulous process of just like finding stuff. Yeah, Flipadelphia. He played Magic the Gathering since the start. That's crazy. Do you have some pretty expensive cards? My nephew's Pokemon cards were stolen from me because, well, he had them since he was a kid, and he and his mother moved out of this house and they left them behind, and then the entire album was stolen. Damn. Joel, what should I do first, cut or bulk? You should probably do a cut first just to get as lean as possible, and then just do like a slow bulk where you're only really like adding 200 to 300 calories in addition to what you need for your normal macros and stuff. Why is Dragonite my favorite? I don't know, I just remember in maybe it was the second movie with like Articuno and shit, but like in the beginning, Ash gets a message from a Dragonite, and I think somebody was riding on a Dragonite that had like a letter, like a little pouch wrapped around his neck that he could carry letters on, and I just thought that was like it's like the representation of Dragonite within the world seems really cool, and I've always just kind of like been a fan of. I've always kind of associated more with Lance or Draco, or I don't know. I feel like there was like an Elite Four guy who was like named Drake or Lance or something, and he had only dragon Pokemon, and then I would try to do that. I thought Dragonite gave him the letter in the first movie. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was the first movie. For some reason, it just like looked so good, and I feel like I have a vague recollection of of him getting a letter, and then that one Pokemon that like rolls around. What the hell? It's like Elephant. I don't even know. Maybe that was the first movie. Drake and Lance are Elite Four members. Okay, yeah. Is Lance the one with the dragons? Dragonite was in the first movie from a dragon that had the messenger bag. Okay, yeah. Don Fan. Yeah, Don Fan. I remember he was having some sick battle. I don't know. That was like quintessential, just sick. Like Pokemon sometimes is not appreciated for just being a good anime in general. Would you name your son Joel Jr.? Probably not. I don't know. I mean, maybe. Maybe not. Its evolved form of Phanpy. Yeah, did Phanpy come later? I always find it so strange whenever they added those like pre-evolutions later on, and it's just like, what, scientists for like thousands of years just never noticed that Pikachu came from something else, you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. That was a sneak peek at Gen 2. Yeah, that was sick. That was, yeah, as a kid, I remember, looking back on it now, I was losing my fucking mind. Shit in my pants. I think that's also, that's where I got the holographic Mew card or like the ancient one. Do JJ. Well, I would think about that. I don't know if I would want to call my kid JJ. JJ. Hey, JJ, come here, bud. JJ's not a bad name or anything like that. I'm just not sure, like, do you get taken seriously being called JJ? Did you see that guy win the Pokemon tournament and get his championship belt taken for excessive celebration? Oh, the Pokemon Go thing. Yeah, and I watched the celebration, and it was just like, I guess at one point he did kind of toss off his, like, headphones in excitement, but, I mean, where was this occurring that, like, people had such high standards for any of that? I mean, if it happened in, like, some Asian country, maybe I could understand, like, their customs were different, but, I mean, it really seemed like one of those scenarios where it's like, is the excessive celebration in the room with us right now? Joel, are old Pokemon cards worth more now than they were when I was a kid? They are, yeah. You might have some that have got some decent value, you just might not know it. Machamp is your favorite, that's cool. Try as you may, Joel can't seem to get pregnant, I know. Trying to have a poop baby. Every time he celebrated something, he'd say, "Dynamite!" I hope so. If you're not saying dynamite after every small win in your life, what the fuck is the purpose of life? Are you a dog or cat person? I mean, I have a cat, but I really do love dogs, but it's kind of funny, like going over to my friend's house for dinner before this, I literally have to wear like dog clothes because I bought him a Saint Bernard as a present for Christmas one time, and that thing is the most like slobbery shed master of all fucking time. Cat came over late on me to listen to the stream and be bed. Oh, that's cute. Hope you've been glad to see you streaming. Thank you. Good to see you. Do I watch any combat sports at all? I mean, like, whenever the UFC or just fights in general pop up on, like, YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels or something, I'll watch it, but I used to, like, you know, pay money to watch a pay-per-view or something like that, or watch it with friends. I remember, like, when I briefly got into it in high school, I was like, Lyoto Machida, dude. Lyoto Machida, man. But now I don't even really give a hoot. You don't gotta lie, kick it. Joel watches American Gladiator. Does that exist still? I remember that back in like the 80s, and I think they did like a reboot briefly. I've got a 4.5-month-old Chihuahua puppy, and she's about full grown, but she has so much energy I can't keep up with her, and she's not learning well either. Yeah, I think most people, that's why Chihuahuas are like that, because I don't think a single breeder has ever bred them for any sort of traits that would require paying attention or being good. Even though Chihuahuas are known to like be the thing that puts you in the hospital whenever you're a kid, I've heard like Chihuahuas have mauled more kids than, well, more than me at least, I guess. All right, it's reading time. Let's do it. So these should be interesting. Some of these are from, well, quite a few of them are from the r/paranormal subreddit. So like some of them might be kind of quick, kind of disjointed, but you know, we will see what we can do. What's up, Emily? Chuck Liddell and Big Country were my favorites when I watched. Yeah, I remember there was like some video where it was like Chuck and his wife were like working out naked together. Do you remember that? I don't know why, it's just such a funny video. Their like pervert neighbor was like videoing them. It wasn't me, I swear. But I was like, you know what? Fuck it, dude. You got a gym in your house, a beautiful wife. Let's fucking work out naked. Who cares? Black-eyed kid stories. Maybe some in here. Who knows? Oh, right when I start, Pradeep's gotta dig through his shit box and take a big dookie. But it's not guaranteed he'll actually take the shit, because there might be a likelihood that he'll get the zoomies, the shit zoomies. He hates stupid truck drivers. Bro, who knows where most of the fucking truck drivers are? Remember that one story? I don't know if it was in California or where the fuck it was, but it was like some random Indian truck driver just like tried to make a turn in the middle of the highway, and then like a family of 4 were all like decapitated because they didn't see that the truck was like basically taking up the entire expanse of the fucking highway. And it's just like, Jesus. Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised you come up across some pretty shitty fucking truck drivers. Who knows, bro? That's just really dangerous. I remember hearing like terrifying stories about like people come from another country and then they get someone to like, they have an earpiece in, and then the earpiece, the person like tells them the answers to the test. And it's like, do you really want that person fucking driving truck? What time is it for me? It's almost 9 p.m. here, so we gotta scoot, boot, and skedaddle. Teen boys with lifted trucks, but yeah, they're really hazard because they don't care. Oh, geez, okay. Yeah, I mean, that too. Where they just sit outside of some fucking gas station and let their trucks run, creating like a hole in the ozone layer directly above where they're just chilling. That's got to be the absolute lamest form of hangout. Now, granted, I guess people are kids, who cares? But the idea that you like post up with your big diesel truck, your Cummins, engine, and you'd rather be coming than stroking bullshit, and you're just posted up in a fucking parking lot with your shit running, costing you a fucking $1 a mile with your diesel or whatever the fuck, and you're just letting it run. And then what are you doing? Are you like having a conversation? You could just go to somebody's house. You know what I mean? It's just so weird. Yeah, their penises could be small. We're gonna have to check. We're gonna have to go around every blue jean we see and pull their pants down. There's also DMV employees taking bribes and giving people CDLs who shouldn't be having them. Yeah, remember that shit in like Springfield when they were talking about like eating the cats and eating the dogs and stuff like that. Well, I remember the guy that went in there to do like some investigative journalism stuff. It was even like, it wasn't even related to the eating of cats or dogs. It was just terrifying that people were going there. They were getting fast tracked to get like their licenses, which was then fast tracking them, their ability to like eventually vote, I guess. But then those people were just using their licenses, getting like insane cars, and then crashing into shit. It just like looked like absolute peddlum. Anyways, let's read some of these ghosties. So, I'm just a normal guy living in the Pacific Northwest. I have 2 dogs, and I often hike around in the spring and summer days. There is a particular hike that I like to do with my dogs because the trail is along a river, and they love to swim, and it's one of those trails that no one really knows about. I've been hiking it for about 6 years now, and I've never seen another person out there. One of my dogs is reactive, so having a place where I never have to worry about running into another person or dog is perfect for me. April of last year, I loaded my dogs up and drove us to the If your truck's not at least on 35s, you're just not overcompensating enough. Exactly. April of last year, I loaded my dogs up and drove us to the trailhead. We got out and started hiking around. About 2 miles in, I come across a tree that someone had used red rope and large nails to tie up what I think is a cow's tongue. Just nailed it to a tree. The tongue itself was tied tightly or bound with rope, and then they used big nails to nail it to a tree. There were 2 of them, There were 2 of them on one tree, and next to the tree in the river water, there was large, again assuming cow, bones just scattered. And the dogs definitely started to act different. They seemed very uneasy. I looked around a bit to see if anyone was out there or if there was someone who was maybe homeless and had found camp there, but there was nothing around and no signs of someone camping, no trash, no tent or fire. And my dogs kept tucking their tails in and would stop and look out as if something was near, but I couldn't see anything, and so I decided to turn back. Once we were fairly far away from that tree and the dogs started to loosen up again, that night, Once we were fairly far away from that tree, the dogs started to loosen up again. And that night I couldn't stop thinking about it. A, it was all just very weird, and B, I had never once seen anyone out that way. It was one of those hikes where there's this bit of a hike to the trailhead, and then the trailhead doesn't look like a trailhead really, and the hike itself isn't very easy. It's rocky and wet, and it's worth it once you get about 3.5 miles in and you get a nice flat beach all to yourself. Now, I kept thinking about it every night for about a week, and then I decided to go back. I packed up my dogs, got ready for the hike, and when I went back... Then I decided to go back. I packed up my dogs, got ready for the hike, and when I got back, I couldn't find it. But not just the tongues, but the tree itself. I couldn't even find the tree where they were, and I was looking all over. The tree had a somewhat unique lean to it, but I couldn't find it, and I felt around in the trees looking for the nail holes, but nothing. Now, I tried to look up what this could be online, and all I could find was maybe witchcraft or satanic spells. And in short, it seemed like some kind of ritual to keep spirits or people quiet. I'm not sure if this story exactly fits here at the sub, but I'm just so curious to know if anyone is familiar about this. I did attach some pictures that you can see now. Chihuahuas just get a bad rep since their owners think it's cute to let them bark nonstop, or it's funny to let them be aggressive, then they tune into bad dog. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense if you're literally never, because I mean, they get away with so much stuff in your home, right? And then as soon as they get into a situation where they should have learned how to behave, they just go absolutely haywire. Baby sat on a Texas boy before, and his parents got him a Chihuahua, and the dog was gentle with the boy. Oh, that's good. Hey, Kate's Cozy Kitchen, what's going on? What have you cooked lately? Your roommate has a Chihuahua. She's very sweet, only barks when necessary. Oh, that's good. Maybe they do just get a bad rep. Who closes the door after the bus driver gets off? Holy shit, good point. Hey Joel, how are you? Are you still looking for the Osprey blueprint? I am, bro. I'm willing to trade a shiny Pikachu. Just kidding, I don't have one. Joel and Buttersock gang. Been a while since I've been to your lives vids. Crazy month. Recently moved on break, and I just came back home after taking my daughter and little sis to the park. Chill so far. Nice, yeah. I thought we were about to be in WW6 for a second, but it sounded like maybe it was all just to like manipulate the stock market or something. I have no idea. Mercy Live, you made it too. Oh, nice, Cat. Yeah, for anybody who's new, yeah, we just record the stories for tomorrow and chit chat, and this gives me something fun to do while I record stories, because recording stories gets very, very, very monotonous very fast if there's nobody to talk to. Do I PvP or PvE? Dude, I don't even know how anybody PvEs in Arc Raiders, I'll be honest with you. Because, like, you know what I mean? Like, after you killed one of everything, like, what's even, even, like, killing stuff in the moment, like, it's cool that the robots are, like, really cool and have different physics and whatever, but all the new, arc that they've added are kind of like not that exciting, or they're just like reiterations of other things, or sometimes they're just like insanely annoying and not that fun to deal with, or they give away your position against. So to me, Arc Raiders should like focus more on the PvP, but I did hear that they maybe were doing a 20v20 mode, which actually sounds insane. Like, imagine like a massive Fortnite, 20v20 type thing. And I really do think like Arc Raiders has some of the best like shooting mechanics in like games, right? But I just feel like it's underutilized right now, mainly because I don't think they expected it to pop off so quickly. Hey Joel, a few recordings ago you talked about Islam and Christianity as the chat's resident carpet riding, hookah puffing, Jordan rocking extremists. I think we were more similar than our greatest ally. No, I know what you're talking about, but I just meant on like the domestic level, pertaining not necessarily to cultures or anything like that, but I just mean within the religion itself. There's like, it's, once again, I don't care what anybody believes really, but I just meant like from a solely theistic perspective. It's like Christians worship Christ, and I know that there's a degree of veneration for the character of Christ in Islam, but they don't worship Christ, which is fine. That's their, but there was the context being is that like a friend of mine who is a Muslim, they seem to think that it's the same, but it was I was like argue with them in a friendly way to let them know that no, it's not the same. Just got into Arc Raiders and I'm loving it so far. It reminds me of The Division with the Dark Zone. Yeah, apparently that's what it was. I never got to try that. I own a cleaning company. We clean crime scenes that most people would never imagine you should do stories and crime scenes. Just saying. Yeah, there's some YouTube channels that are like solely devoted to like crime scene cleaning and crime scene sort of investigation, stuff like that. And God, you should send some stories, and I can't even imagine what you got to deal with. Isn't the whole point of Arc Raiders to fight robots? So, to me, I mean, it's up to you, really. It's a really subjective game, if that makes sense. Like, it's just, you go in, the objectives. That's the thing, is there's really not much to do in the game. Like, you can complete different minor quests or whatever like that, but what really made the game popular was the fact that they added PvP kind of late, right? And then that's kind of like the unknown, uncertain experience that you might have with another human. It might be friendly, it might be cool, you might make a friend, you might make a total enemy, and then the funny things that they say after you bring them down, or vice versa. And it's just like, that makes it fun. But then at the end of the day, all of that's going to get old if there's not like some very clear, concise objective to what one should be, I guess, pursuing or doing. I don't even know. To start the story, I just want to say that I saw what I saw. I don't care if people don't believe me, and my sister saw it too, and many people in my area have said that they've seen the same thing. Now, I just want to share my experience, and if you don't like it, I don't care. So, back when I lived in Nevada, we lived in a manufactured home, or whatever you might call it, sort of like a double wide, but nicer. Now anyways, my sister and I had rooms directly across from each other. We both had windows facing the backyard, and one night I was standing in front of my vanity that had a mirror that was facing the window, and it was late at night. I saw a very tall man with paper white head. With a paper white head. Send in some paramedic stories. Yeah, send it in. Let's read submissions at gmail.com. And you have my permission to slap that friend with a sandal. That's why I think we are more similar. My point is our greatest ally has no veneration for the Christ. No, for sure. I mean, like in the sort of modern Talmudic, approach, or whatever it might be. Like post being kicked out of that area, right? And then the destruction of the temple or whatever it was. Like, they had to make sense of what their religion was, because the reliance upon the temple to do their sacrifices or whatever for sin, had to be made sense. So they like developed the Talmudic sort of interpretations and arguments, and it's sort of like they basically, a bunch of like famous rabbis would write around the edges, I guess. I could be completely wrong about this, but yeah, there's a lot of, it's basically like a whole nother religion, right? Because it's no longer just the Torah, which is the first 5 books of the Bible. It's like interpretations and like argumentations to like make sense of like a modern world that is, their religion. So, I mean, who knows? It could have been, I don't know, man. It could have been a hijacked religion as well by certain elites, It's hard to say, man. At the end of the day, we're all buddies on the domestic level. It's the militaristic side that certainly has the biggest differences, I would imagine. My son finally got his braces off after 2 years, and if I say so myself, his mother and I made a damn good-looking young man. I mean, I've known that from day one, but it's nice to brag every now and then. No, that's amazing. That's a good feeling. Tell his ass to hit the fucking gym. I'm just playing. But he should. Every kid should hit the gym, because then he'll get freaking jacked. Alright, anyways. Sorry, I think maybe my last message got lost. My partner plays Arc Raiders, and he found an Osprey blueprint the other day. I got him to keep it for you. Really? Oh, dang. Well, yeah, shoot me a message, and we can connect, and hopefully oh, you know what I can give him? Does he want a snap hook? I have a snap hook I can give you. I never use it, and it's a legendary item. I feel like that might be... I mean, whatever you think is like a fair trade, we could figure that out. Just have to email me or shoot me a message somewhere. What's up, Liz? My local news said a drive-by gone bad. Asked what happens when one goes... A good drive-by is whenever you do a drive-by compliment. Or like in Family Guy when they had the drive-by argument. I disagree. I've thought about exploring trip reports, both good and bad ones. I do have like 2 videos, I think, on the channel of like bad trips. But I kind of felt like bad trips, and this is just totally me. Maybe I'll do ones for bonus content or something, but I do feel like bad trips are a little bit like bad dreams, where like sure they're really like terrible for the individual, but they're so subjective that like has someone ever told you about having deja vu and you're like, oh cool, I don't give a shit, you know what I mean? Like, you know, objectively speaking, unless the person's hot. If the person's hot, then they can tell you about anything ever and you're like, that's crazy. But like if someone's just telling you about a bad trip or a dream, it's kind of just like, meh. What's the best way to use creatine? So creatine is best used, you can do 5 grams, right? This is the most studied substance within like these, you know, workout realm. And yeah, 5 grams, you don't need a loading phase, and you basically take it to like lift weights, because it helps to like basically generate more energy in your body to like do more work, which then more work usually means more gains. But you can take more than 5, like some people take 10, upwards of 20 sometimes, and there have been studies apparently that have shown that like upwards of 20 actually makes up for, or like makes people feel a lot better whenever they're sleep deprived. That's not to say that you shouldn't get good sleep, and you're gonna have to stay as hydrated as you possibly can, but what about someone in a perma trip, like a schizophrenic kind of thing? Can I tell you about my bad dream? Yeah, Liz, you can tell us here. I just won't read it on the channel. Do you even lift, bro? Sometimes. I did squat today. I'm feeling good. We're back at it. Doing upper body hypertrophy stuff tomorrow, so that should be fun. Dude, it's so good. It's so good to just get a workout out of the way first thing. I think I can send you a link to his Steam account on the Let's Read email. I don't even know if he wants to trade. He might just be happy to give it to you. Oh, yeah, that's, you know, that's fine, yeah. Totally fine. You can just put that in the subject line. we're farming blueprints, boys. Because literally all I want to do is just go grief people with an Osprey. The Osprey's fun, man. It's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the ballistics in Arc Raiders is some of the best shooting mechanics I've felt probably since SOCOM. Do you remember SOCOM? There was a video game called SOCOM. It was like a, what do they call it? Navy SEAL style game, third person. It's really fun. That workout soreness is a really good feeling. Oh yeah, you'll get used to it. Here for fun, you dig? What's up, dude? You recall SOCOM? It was decent. Yeah, it was like one of the, like on the PS2, it was one of the first games to really use like broadband internet, you know, to switch from like dial-up to broadband, like high-speed internet or whatever you want to call it, you know, to do multiplayer gaming. Obviously, things were like taken to the next level once Xbox released Halo 2, but, you know, SOCOM, I feel like walked so Halo 2 could take a big shit with Halo Infinite. Would you do haunted house stories? I'd love to send a story. Oh yeah, I'm sure we'll hear some here today. We're doing some ghosty stories. I've heard of something crazy trip reports from people that were on hallucinogens and deliriants. Deliriants! Please, son, hand me over one of those deliriants. Thank you. Snarf, thank you, bro. Appreciate you. You are a lifesaver. How much do I need to pay you to check out Acephaly Horror by Jeff Walker in your spare time? You don't have to pay me anything, but even if you paid me $1 million, I probably would still forget, you know? So I just need to be reminded, which you can also email me or like send me a message or something and just like link me to whatever it is that I'm looking for. And then I will have time to look at it in the moment. Wait, Jorge, you posted something? I saw a very tall man with a paper white head and no features skipping past my window. It moved very fast. I was only able to catch a brief glimpse, but for long enough that I could recognize these features. It was very skinny, tall, and dressed in all black, maybe a suit. Now terrified, I go into my sister's room and tell her what I saw. Now she says, "Oh God, that's scary," basically, and we go back to our rooms. And then my sister comes to my room wide-eyed and breathless and told me that she just saw the same thing. And then I saw it skip past my window one more time. My dad taught me from a young age, if that's all they do, they're weak. Don't let them put fear into you. Now, he would scream at things when I was a child like he was angry, but I don't let that stuff get to me. And also, the earth keeps spinning, I guess, so I just let it go. And frankly, I subconsciously thought that it was just my eyes seeing things, and we went about my life as usual. But I would bring it up sometimes in conversations with friends, and to my surprise, they've seen that creature as well, like apparently a lot of people around here. But I'm curious, has anyone honestly seen this thing too? Now, I call it Slender Man because that's kind of what fits the description, but I can't imagine it's truly that. Skip past my head as you sit on it. Just like skipping by and fart in your face. I wonder if the PlayStation has the old SOCOM games. Yeah. Some of those games were a little bit complicated for me, like playing through the single player. Kind of like playing some of the old Tom Clancy Ghost Recon games. Have you seen the trailer for the new A24 movie? Is it the Backrooms? I believe it's Backrooms, right? That does the A24. I have a close call story from my 20s when I was dog sitting. I had to get sent to you. Yeah, definitely. Let's read submissions at gmail.com. I saw a dude who was skipping down the street being followed by 6 cops, a police van. Can you imagine getting away from the cops by skipping? That would be amazing. Even though I never saw anything paranormal in the direct way many people claim to, like clearly seeing, hearing, or feeling things, this specific experience left a mark on me nonetheless. I'll keep it brief because I don't want my post to get taken down, and when I was little, my bedroom was in a somewhat isolated part of the house. Right next to it, there was a smaller room, the laundry room, that didn't have a door. The darkness coming from there was terrifying, and to be honest, I've always been a bit of a fearful person, but I couldn't call myself a coward. Now that day, I was just watching Adventure Time on one of those old-school box-shaped TVs, not like the ones we have now. And I remember I was watching the episode with the Lemonhead guy, Lemon Grab, I think. And eventually, I decided to turn off the TV, which would be a normal thing for anyone else. But that night would trigger a trauma that stays with me to this day. As soon as I turned off the TV and laid down, I hadn't even had my eyes closed for 2 minutes when a woman's face appeared right in front of me. It scared me so bad that I snapped my eyes open and jumped out of bed immediately. I ran out of the room and luckily ran into my dad in the hallway. I told him I wanted to sleep with him, and the rest of the night went by normally and nothing like that ever happened again. Now the face was, from what I remember, white and completely expressionless. Everything around it was pitch black, and it was as if this pale face just emerged from the void. However, it only happened while my eyes were closed, and to this day, more than 8 years later, I cannot sleep without some kind of light or background noise. Now what I do is set a sleep timer on my television and it stays on for a few minutes while I drift off and then shuts down automatically. I know it sounds crazy or hard to believe, but that's how it happened. I never had another experience like it, and by the way, in that house, my dad supposedly felt his bed being moved, and apparently the original owner's wife died in my room from... whoops. Now, by the way, princess, she died in my room. Old people be haunting. I know. Why don't they just move out? Would you be okay being a single dad? I mean, like if I had a choice, I mean, I wouldn't choose to be a single dad, but if I had to be, like if my wife passed away, or sadly my one friend, his wife got addicted to Adderall, and it triggered some really severe mental health issues in her, and basically she became like unfit to be a mother. And yeah, so if something like that happened, obviously I would step up to take care of your kids and all that kind of shit, right? But yeah, not the most ideal situation. Anyways. By the way, in that house, my dad supposedly felt his bed being moved. And apparently, the original owner's wife died in the room my dad was sleeping in. Now, I attached a reference image, and the face I saw didn't have such a terrifying smile, it simply had no expression at all. But I want to reiterate that this image is only for reference, just to give you an idea. And this happened many years ago, and I hope I can get some feedback here. Joe, I'm surprised you have a lot of sad stories from your friends. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, as you get older, it just seems like more opportunities for people's lives to not work out amazingly. Do they have the image? They do have the image on the Reddit post. My plan is to just attach those as I'm editing the video once I get to the video edits. Last reminded me of the Dead Files episode where Amy Aliens saw the souls of the local clan people, and they were two-dimensional paper people that were in the trees in Lee's backyard. Interesting. It's interesting. It's kind of sad. I feel like once I even though I'm really not starting the stream that much earlier tonight, it really does seem like notifications or whatever have jumped down, and then randomly on my this is why so many people on YouTube are so superstitious about what they do with their stuff, or what, if they change literally anything on their YouTube. Just because the past 4 videos I've posted on YouTube have gotten a 10 out of 10, which is the worst score you can get for a YouTube video. Basically, it means it's the worst performing video out of the last 10 videos you've posted. And that's been the last 4 videos I've posted have all been 10 out of 10s, which means the views are just trending down. But it doesn't make any sense because it's I've changed nothing. Nothing's really different. The topics aren't crazy different, or, there's some of them are really banger topics. And then the click-through rate, which is your title and your thumbnail, gets a good rating, and then the watch time is good. So it really just comes down to what's called suggested views, if that makes sense. YouTube going out of its way to suggest your stuff to new people or current subscribers. I don't know, it's they change something sometimes and then you just kind of get arbitrarily screwed. I don't know. It's so odd. Put it on screen. That's alright, we'll do it for the normal video. Maybe should quit. I don't know, probably. I should just quit YouTube forever. Go outside and jump into traffic. Do you get more traction on your lives versus edited videos opposed? No, I mean, lately the lives, I don't know. They've just kind of fallen off as well, and I almost low-key wonder if there's, I don't know, sometimes I wonder if the lives negatively affect the video, you know what I mean? You just don't know. I mean, I remember hearing some YouTubers would literally start entire separate channels just to do their live streams, which is not why They should be. Do you think we need to tone down the political stuff in the live? Maybe. I thought about like any sort of criticism of a certain something may trigger something or whatever, you know, especially in a time of war or whatever the fuck. But I figured that would just come down more to like people hearing it and being like, oh, I'm not into this, you know, which is fine. I'm not like trying to get crazy political or anything, but it was kind of a scary, you know. Anyways, but that's the curiosity, is like, how do you even tell? Like, how does one even tell what dictates the algorithm anymore, you know? I love the new schedule because now I can join instead of having to wait till the next day. Yeah, that's good to have you, you know? I don't know. Okay, how's this for a premonition? The day before I leave, I go to the tire store to replace my spare tire. While I'm there, I get on this kick of maybe I should replace them all while I'm here, and what happened? My life is about being arbitrarily screwed. Yeah, it's odd sometimes. But I did have a funny dream last night where it was another school dream. I feel like I have these stupid school dreams from time to time. Actually, I guess it's been like a while. But I was in math class, and I got I saw my I got someone in front of me got their test back, and they're like, "Whoa, is this score supposed to be this high?" And they, you know, they're like, obviously did really well. And then I got mine, and I saw it was covered in like red, you know, pen or red marker or something like that. And I looked at it, and I got an M. I didn't just get an F. I got an M on my math test. And like didn't even answer one of the questions and one of the I don't know why. It was just really funny, the idea of getting like an M. Like, what the fuck is an M? M for math. M for idiot, yeah. I don't even know. Have you ever seen a ghost? Thankfully, no, dude. If I saw a ghost, I don't even know if I could handle it. Like, sometimes I like pray to God. I'm like, please don't show me any ghosts. I don't know if I can continue on with life if I see anything. Like, obviously you feel stuff from time to time, but it might just be your internal fear. Hey, there's Pats. What's up, bro? Yeah, M for moron, yeah. M for math. Mediocre. Widowy. Do you different stories for your edited videos or just the stories you record live? Maybe if you could do different stories for your edited videos. Def be more or yeah, I mean, the live stream is kind of like to kill two birds with one stone. It's like, it's fun. They introduced like the membership thing, you know, years ago, and then bonus content, and it was just, I don't know, it keeps me structured. Like, I have a time, I have to be here, I got to do it, you know. And then the scheduled for the video, I gotta, you know, edit that the next day, you know, so we cringe on. So this just happened a couple of hours ago, and I'm pretty freaking shook, not gonna lie. So I bartend at a dive bar in a pretty terrible part of San Francisco, Soma, for those of you who know. Now, I was doing my usual chain-smoking nightcap, catching up on some text messages that I missed when I heard some glassware rattling in the kitchen, which is only like 30-ish feet away from where I was sitting at the bar, and so it was very obvious and loud. Now, at first, I thought it was maybe a rat or something, or at worst, a crackhead that snuck their way in while I wasn't paying attention. But the second I stepped into the kitchen to check it out, I heard the same exact rattling sound coming from the bar which I had just been sitting at, but hella louder and way more aggressive. So I pulled my knife. So I pulled my knife out, still thinking it was some homeless guy or a crackhead or something, but the exact second I walked back into the bar area, I got hit with this huge wave of goosebumps. The temperature dropped. I was shivering. All of my hairs were standing up, and I had this feeling that you get when you know somebody is watching you. No, there was nobody in the building except me. I quadruple checked every square inch of the place, and it's not like a huge bar, it's actually quite small. Now, once that happened, I just knew we are not alone out here, and I can say that with incredible confidence now. I'll leave a comment. Wait, what is it? Comment with text conversation. Where's the sim? Where's the comment? Oh. Says he was going to leave a comment with, whatever. Now, once that happened, I just knew that we are not alone out here. Did I have a good Easter? Yeah, it was good. Went to a friend's family, sorry. And, yeah, just kind of like a classic Easter. Really can't go wrong. Why does knife have a K in it? I'm not really sure. Hey Ryan, no worries. Thank you, bro. Good to see you. So the Bell Witch case might be the most documented haunting in American history. A future president got involved and left terrified. So in 1817, the Bell family in Tennessee started experiencing things they couldn't explain. Knocking sounds on the walls, bed covers being pulled off at night, and a faint voice that got louder over time. The voice could quote scripture, sing hymns, and eventually started addressing family members by name. It hated John Bell specifically. It said it would kill him. Now the story spread, and in 1819, General Andrew Jackson traveled from Nashville to investigate. And according to multiple accounts, his wagon froze on a dry road and couldn't be moved. Hey Daniel Ramirez, good to see you. Daniela Ramirez, sorry. According to multiple accounts, his wagon froze on a dry road and couldn't be moved no matter how hard his men pushed. Jackson reportedly said, "By the eternal boys, this must be the witch." Now, a voice from the woods replied, "All right, General, let the wagon move on. I will see you tonight." Now, his men were so shaken after one night that they left the next day. Jackson is quoted as saying that he'd rather face the entire British Army than spend another night with the Bell Witch. In 1820, John Bell died under very strange circumstances. A vial of dark liquid was found in the house, and the family tested it on a cat, which died instantly, and the voice claimed that she poisoned him. What makes this case unusual is the amount of documentation. There are named witnesses, dates, and written accounts from people who were there. Most hauntings from this era are vague stories passed down with no names attached, and this one has a real paper trail. The Bell Witch Cave in Adams, Tennessee is on the National Historical Registry and is still open to visitors today. Alright, guess we got a little bit of a ghost lesson there. Depending on how fast these stories go, we might have to add a few more in. Is Joel hiding Sam? No, Sam said a joke earlier. I literally am not hiding anybody, I promise. I don't know. Remember Ernest? It was big time into the Bell Witch. Like Ernest Scared Stupid. Ernest Scared Stupid's one of my favorite ones ever. You can watch silly ghost videos, yeah. Do you think ghost activity gets worse if you bring ghost equipment inside your house? I mean, like what it seems like with spirits is that the more attention you give them, that's kind of like the energy that they feed off of, right? So if you're not afraid, maybe they don't gain energy from your fearlessness. But if you were filled with fear every time something happened and then eventually acknowledge it, it's almost like this cascade effect of like building, you know what I mean? It's like building up in many ways. Sarah, thank you for the 2. There's a movie about this, American Haunting. Oh, okay, I was curious if they ever made a movie about the Bell Witch. Your fiance is pregnant. Nice, dude. Congratulations, Alex. That's crazy. Yeah, so like if you ever find yourself in like sort of a strange haunting scenario, it's just like you don't want to give any attention to said negative spirit. I know YouTubers who have paranormal activity living inside their house for good. Yeah, it doesn't sound great. Ghost equipment is really just picking up in ELF waves and frequencies, not exactly supernatural in most cases. Yeah, that's totally fair too. Do you ever experience FOMO? Yeah. Well, not as bad as some people, but kind of, I guess. Is that why people try to fight paranormal with their faith, or to fight fear? I do believe, yeah. I mean, like, I remember, like, I lived in this old house, and, like, when I was going to college, and then I would, like, wake up or have, like, this sudden feeling that something was there, and then it was almost like it would, like, crawl over me or, like, wash over me, this sleep paralysis, or this just completely paralyzed feeling, and I just, like, couldn't move, and I'm just, like, so filled with fear of whatever's there. But then it's like, as soon as I pray to Jesus, or, like, say Jesus's name, it was just like, it would just go away. It would just, like, and, like, all of a sudden my ability to move and my and all that kind of stuff would just, and, like, the fear would dissipate. I don't know, it was pretty interesting. So I mean, faith definitely plays into casting, I think, fear out of people's hearts and minds and stuff. Wish the best for you, Joe. Someday you'll find your happiness. Thanks, Rose. I feel happy. I mean, I'm doing good, but maybe there's more happiness to be found, obviously. A degree of happiness that I'll never even know. But it is tough. I mean, like, it's like I went over to another friend's house to catch up with them. They're like Russian Orthodox? Anyways, they're like Orthodox, right? And for the Orthodox Christian folk, it's like their Holy Week or something, where they celebrate Easter like a week later or something. And they do like a Lent, I don't know, a little bit different or whatever. But he's got like 7 kids, which is crazy. And like one of them is like 3. And it was just so funny. Like, as soon as she saw me, it was just like, she was just so fucking excited, just so excited, and like wanted me to pick her up, and then just like gave me like the world's biggest hug. And like, I feel like I barely ever get to see her because she's always like in bed by the time I visit and stuff. So the fact that and then she was just doing this, like, the stupidest shit ever. She's like, can you do this dance? And she's just like kind of like wobbling back and forth while pointing her fingers up and down, like boop ba doop ba doop ba doo. And I'm like, yeah, I can do that dance. And I'm just, you get hit with that. Yeah, it really does melt your heart, and you're just like, oh my god, I need to have an entire fucking 15-kid family right now. Joe's already featured my main ghost stories, but I did send him some shorties they can make into a narrative about a month. Okay, yeah, that's right, yeah. Okay. I was just minding my business, rewatching Game of Thrones, loving life, and I heard a weird noise. I looked around and realized that it was coming from my phone. I picked it up and held it to my ear, and I heard what sounded like labored breathing and footsteps in snow. Now, at first, I thought something was just playing in the background. I looked through all my open apps, and there was nothing that would be playing sound, and I force-closed all the apps, and the sound persisted. Another weird thing about it was that my volume was in the middle. I turned it up and turned it down, and there was no change. Just a low breathing and these snowy footsteps. It didn't sound like a loop either, and the breathing was pretty inconsistent. I restarted my phone and the sound. Went away. Like 5 minutes after I got that feeling in my mouth like I was going to puke, and I did. Wait, what the hell? It's kind of random. I'm enjoying my niece when she's small and isn't embarrassed by her aunt. Yeah, it's kind of like, it is kind of sad because it's like you almost have to be there early so that you're like a positive sort of thing to their existence, so that whenever they get older, they're not, they don't look at you as just like, who the fuck are you? Do you have any scary desert stories driving back 2 hours to a hotel from the Grand Canyon? I think I did do some scary desert stories in the channel. If you want to look at, type that exact thing, let's read, into YouTube. Search bar. I restarted my phone, and this... I restarted my phone and the sound went away. Like 5 minutes later, I got that feeling in my mouth like I was going to puke, and I did, violently, and then I felt fine. It just came out of nowhere. I don't ever just throw up for no reason, so in my head, I'm connecting to whatever was going on with my phone. I don't know if this is related, and I kind of brushed it off until now, but the other night I was walking my dog, and I was getting closer to my house, and I heard footsteps behind me. I instinctually turned around to see who it was, but no one was there. My dog also turned around and looked alert. Now, I'm just kind of weirded out right now. Maybe there is a logical explanation for everything, but I can't seem to think of a good one. Also, did you guys see what was the new technology that the CIA said they used to find the downed pilot? This was like the craziest reveal of like low-key reveal of future tech that I had heard. So it's called the Ghost Murmur, and it supposedly is a classified CIA detection system used in the rescue of a U.S. airman shot down over Iran, April 2026. It allegedly used quantum magnetometry sensors. Quantum. I didn't even know they had quantum shit. I mean, I've heard about it, but plus AI to detect electromagnetic signal produced by a human heartbeat. The AI filters noise and isolates the biometric signature of a person's heartbeat across large areas. In simple terms, the claim is that it can find a living person by detecting their heartbeat remotely, even if they are hiding. How it was used: US F-15E Strike Eagle crew ejected over Iran. One crew member was rescued quickly, but the other hid in the mountainous terrain for 48 hours. The CIA reportedly used Ghost Murmur to pinpoint his location, enabling special forces to extract him. Why some scientists are skeptical, some physicists say detecting a heartbeat from long distances, hundreds of meters or miles, will be beyond current public technology, so possibilities are people debating. It works only short range with drones nearby. It used the pilot's beacon, AI, signaling processing. The real tech is different, but still classified. Oh, okay. Maybe they're trying to send the Chinese on a 2-decade-long trip to chase after a technology that doesn't actually exist. Did you believe the current space mission? There's a lot of people saying it's fake. Well, it just seems really weird. Like, why the fuck do we even give a shit about, like, going to the dark side of the moon whenever there seems to be supposedly a lot of, like, crazy shit occurring? I don't know, it just seems, I mean, I guess you can't really, like, when we're like, well, we had it scheduled. Like, you certainly wouldn't want GTA 6 not to release just because World War 3. I'd hope it to still come out. I would play it till I got nuked, I don't care. Hey Joe, hope all is well. I'm enjoying a cold beer in Southern California, so happy to hear you. Thank you, Jack, good to see you. Maybe a distraction. I mean, I guess everything is a distraction. Who knows, man. 3 questions to determine our interfaith friendship. 1, what cheese on roast beef? 2, when to change a light bulb, it dims or burns out. 3, the first thing you think of when you stub your toe. What cheese to put on roast beef? I don't know, I feel like I'm almost thinking like pepper jack or something. But I guess provolone. I don't know. When to change a light bulb, when it dims or burns out. I feel like I always wait to change it when I never really see them dim, you know? And the first thing you think when you stub your toe, gosh dang it. Youchies. Carol Williamson, welcome back for 2 months, says, I ended up spinning out on the freeway. Needless to say, I replaced my tires. Oh shit, okay. Damn. Cheese whiz. I guess if you're doing like a Philly cheesesteak. What crazy, people were mad that the government was wasting money looking for that one soldier. I don't know, man. Everybody's going to be mad about anything. I think at this point it's like anything you hear on the news, it's just like you're permitted to hear it, you know? Like if there's something that just like is completely wildly classified, like it's never going to get to your ears, most likely. Lynn, thank you so much for the 5 gifters. To Barsk, Int999, CutiePieXO, Austere Artist, and user HD9TY8RQ8K. God, dude, YouTube needs to bring back the fucking names, bro. I've heard of CIA having heart attack guns and now cancer guns. Yeah, they've got all sorts of crazy shit, man. I mean, didn't they have those heart attack guns back in like the 60s or some shit? Who fucking knows, man? If some sort of like abstract phenomenon within science exists now, it probably existed since the beginning of time, so who knows to what degree like most of the technology they have is not just reverse engineered from some other ancient civilization or Smaliums. Love you, Joe. I gotta go to sleep for work tomorrow. Good night, everyone. Hey, see you, Catherine. Take care. What's up, Pradeep? How much did you miss? Not much. Just some ghosty, spooksy stories. The Bell Witch one. My phone did something weird. And then this person moved to the countryside. We are reading some paranormal stories, yes. Am I in the second story? Me? Physically? The psyop that's been in place for the last 10 to 15 years is not getting us what to think easy. It's now getting us how to think. I mean, isn't that how it's been the whole time? Isn't that the purpose of school? Everybody going to the Rockefeller schools. I mean, Jesus Christ, like, yeah, and we find out that it was like Ghislaine Maxwell's dad's publishing company, that it was writing the history books, and, you know, that was from the Epstein file stuff. If it's true, I don't, you know, who knows? I don't know. You just have to have some degree of discernment, and I think, you know, there comes a time where you become so discerning towards something that you try to think of it like from this way, that way, left, right, up and down, every possible variability, and eventually you just get so overwhelmed with the concepts that it's like, what's the fucking point of concerning yourself with it anymore? The bombs are still going to drop. People are still going to hate each other. You know, you might as well exist in peace in your like little bubble with your head buried in the sand playing Xbox than give a fuck, you know? I mean, you can give as many fucks as you want and get in the way as much as you want. I think that's a good thing, probably. I don't know. David, thank you for the $1, and Carol Williamson, thank you for the 5 gifters. Friends, you now have access to bonus content. Thank you so much, Carol. Ever heard of the Book of Enoch? Yeah, I remember reading some of the Book of Enoch back in college. I remember that was so interesting because it kind of seemed like it made sense. Like it talked about angels or aliens or whatever coming down and giving us like weapons, giving us music, giving us all of this like weird technology, as well as like interbreeding with humans and like creating like giants and all that kind of, you know what I mean? It's just fucking like insane. My mechanic just put a damper on my day. There's a nest of squirrels in my 76 Mercedes. Should I leave them alone or try to relocate them? I mean, I guess it depends on, I guess, whenever you refurbish it or try to sell it again. I took religious studies in college and failed it badly. I mean, I'm sure it was just a lot of memorization. It was the Rockefellers who ended up giving millions of dollars to education systems, are the ones that created the narrative of the history. His story. Yeah, I mean, it does make you wonder, like, who is the determining, like, unifying, you know, authority for what is considered the generally accepted history narratives? Because obviously you can see in real time, it's like your government lies to you, the news lies to you, and then you get the real story, like, a little bit later. So who's to say that the shit that you hear about, like, military operations back in World War II aren't just a complete load of malarkey, you know, to make you feel more valiant towards something or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, who is to say, other than someone who goes and I guess compiles all sorts of sources? But even then, it's like, who I don't know, who source checks the source checkers and blah blah blah. Yeah, so, but at the same time, whatever feels good, you still got to pay your bills. Dick Snatch, thank you, and welcome to the Buttersock Cult. You know, have access to bonus content. Hello, Mafia Honey. Hello. That's my philosophy. I don't care about anything I can't control. It only makes me mad or sad or whatever is today. Bad news will pass and somebody else will replace it always. Yeah, it's like, It's like whether the economy collapses or the banks go on a run or a bomb drops in Seattle. It's like, what the fuck are you gonna catch the nuke? Like, what are you gonna do? You might as well live like, honestly, you should just be thankful that you're not living in a place where bombs drop on the regular, you know? Just literally be thankful. You can complain about that, but what can you do? Something unusual has been happening, and I'm not sure what to make of it. Maybe someone here can offer some explanations. And to give you the full picture, we used to live in the city, but we got tired of the noise and the prices, so we moved out of Brooklyn a little over 2 years ago and into a quiet little area about 2 hours from the city, bordering alongside Pennsylvania. Now, we're not very familiar with rural life, so it's still a bit new to us. My house sits on the edge of the woods, and we don't have neighbors on that side, just trees stretching for miles and miles. Now, in winter, I move my workspace to the living room by the wood stove, sitting next to a large window that looks out over the terrace and the forest. Now, I keep the blinds closed to hold in the heat. 2 nights ago, I was working on my spicy horror story when I suddenly heard what felt like a loud bang, like something heavy had fallen. I thought it came from the basement, but it could also be outside, so I ignored it. A little later, the bang repeated, and this time louder and closer. I felt the vibrations in the floors and the walls, like someone was just outside, either on the terrace or under it, hitting the wall right next to me. Now, I got scared and decided not to open the blinds and instead just go to bed. But as I was getting under the blanket, not even a minute later, the bang happened again, just as loud and just as close as the second time. Someone or something was right outside our house. I woke up my partner, told him what happened, and asked him to go check with me. We checked the terrace, but there was no one, and the rest of the night was quiet. The next night, around 9 o'clock, it was very dark out as we don't have any streetlights in my area, and he went outside to grab wood from the backyard pile for the fire stove so the house would stay warm throughout the night. I stayed inside, music playing, running around to feed the pets, and when he returned. Damn. Hey, Ethereal, what's up? Provolone, when I get up 1 a.m. to make a snack. 2, when you stumble through the dark to make the snack. 3, oh shit, when you stumble. Yeah, that's funny. Carol, thank you for the 5 gifters. 2 Ardits, Nunya, Draft RG, What a Time to Be Me, and Courtney Welsh. Welcome, friends. You now have access to bonus content. Thank you so much, Carol. It's our problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata. Just eating bugs all day. When he returned, he asked if I had heard anything. I hadn't. He said there had been a very loud, powerful bang that made the ground tremble coming from the woods. Of course, it might have been a tree falling, but there was no cracking, no rustle of breaking branches, only a sudden bang, and needless to say, we decided not to investigate. And now it's morning, and I can't help but feel a little anxious about whether it happened again. But what do you think it might be? Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata. Was there a picture with this one? Just a bunch of trees out in the woods. Nice. What's up, Neo? How we doing? Hakuna Matata. What's the story about so far? Honestly, these have been all just like a series of like really short paranormal ones. Kind of like way too short a little bit. I low-key want to drink for the live. I mean, as long as you're not addicted to alcohol, I guess. Hey, Joel, I sent you a email. Quick ghost story. Last time paranormal stream, I sent you an update. Okay, thank you. Should I just check it right now, maybe? Philosophy. I can't imitate her. What a wonderful phrase. Philosophy. Hello, Let's Read. I hope this message finds you well. My name is Gracie. I'm messaging you today because I'm worried about the state of our country, and I'm hoping you may share that worry too. I want to start a movement and reach out to people, and I'm not looking for fame or anything of that sort. I just want to protect my family and as many people as possible. The government is collapsing right before our eyes, and everything is just a mess. Please, let's help each other come together and save the people of this country and save our families. Please. That was an email that I got before your email. 1 hour ago from Graciela. I have no idea. You really have to ask yourself, what goes through people's heads. Or we're trying to start a movement to protect our families. It's called Not Going Outside Ever. It was from Greta Thornberry. It's literally the feds. Hello, Let's Read. We would love to teach us how to make a big bomb. Okay. So another ghost story. Double entry in the minor nuance ghost department saga. First one is my second shadow person. Okay, here we go. So this happened after sighting the one in the street that night that I mentioned. I head into my brother's room to talk to him about something. Wait, do we need context? I feel like it's going to be a little bit confusing because people aren't going to know the context here. Other stories, saying I don't know. I'm reading it out of order. So this is an instance that happened last week. It's the same spare room I mentioned previously. This time super late at night. Takes a moment. So yeah, maybe. Can you compile? Sorry, I just don't want to flumble it together. Can you compile it so it's look nice, and we don't need because nobody's gonna be familiar with previous context stuff. If you don't mind. I read to completion. I think context doesn't matter if people live and watch the video tomorrow. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. So a little background info before the actual paranormal speculation. I got my girl 5 years ago. She's 9 now and the pride of my life. And this picture above is my cat, Beatrix. Now we actually have 2 cats. We had only planned on getting one, but we fell in love with both. When adopting Beatrix, we were told a bit about her past, and she has a history of seizures and certain allergies, but has been returned 4 times, each time within a month. We speculate that it's probably due to her seizures, but she has them very infrequently and they're not that difficult to deal with. Now, with the actual speculation, right after we got her, she immediately started roaming the house. She's a very curious kitty and we love her for that, and the layout of my house is as such. We have 2 floors. The basement is relatively unused, but we keep the cat's litter boxes and food down there. In the upstairs, we have a large space with the kitchen, dining room, and the living room. Attached to the dining room is a large sliding glass door that leads out onto a back porch. And then we have a long hallway with a few rooms attached. The bathroom, my mom's office, and then a spare room. The interesting thing about that spare room is that I used to sleep in it. From ages 0 to 10, that was my bedroom, but I suffered from extreme night terrors and I could never get a good night's rest in that room, so I moved into a different room and the nightmares stopped immediately. Now back to my cat. Beatrix explored the entire house and I kind of followed her around while she did so. She got to that spare room and immediately started hissing and didn't stop until I closed the door. Well, that was weird. Now throughout these 5 years, she was refused. You remember the game Splinter Cell? Yeah, Splinter Cell was amazing. I remember being so fucking stoked for Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, and it came out I want to say it was like March of 2005, March or May of 2005 or something like that. I forget. But yeah, Splinter Cell was so much fun. And then later on the Xbox 360, there was a Splinter Cell game where, what the hell was that one called? Blacklist? Maybe not Blacklist. Maybe it was the one right before Blacklist. But that began like the modern Splinter Cell, where you could like take cover and then do like finishers on people when you got close to them and that kind of thing. I would love for Splinter Cell to make a comeback, like for real. I don't exactly know how you would take it to like the next level as far as gameplay goes. But even if it had like just a ton of just like different outcomes, you know what I mean? Or possibilities, kind of like Hitman or something of that nature, I feel like it could be really good. Or if it was just like really fun and satisfying and interesting. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Conviction. Yeah, maybe that was it. Yes, Conviction was sick. Now, throughout these 5 years, she has refused to step foot into that room. My dog and other cats sometimes sleep in there, but Beatrix refuses. It was odd, but whatever. Now, after about a month of having her, we noticed that every night she had the same routine. She'd go back to the back sliding door and stare outside for about an hour, every night. And then she would explore the whole house like she was a warden or something. And then come into my room and cuddle for the rest of the night. It was kind of creepy, and at first we assumed that maybe she was interested in going outside. She likes to sunbathe and sit by our bay window, so we trained her to use a harness, and we took her outside, and she hated it, so we shrugged it off. Now, the next part is the weirdest part. It is a constant ongoing joke in my family that she is a portal jumper, and there are many, many instances where I'll walk into the living room to grab some water and see her on her cat bed, and then immediately walk back to my room and see her in my bed. This happens a lot, where you'll walk into one room and see her and then walk into another room and she's just there too. Cats have a reputation of being sneaky, but not that sneaky. And one time she even managed to get outside without us noticing, and we weren't sure how she does that. My mom and I were recently talking about all of this, and I told her that I think that she's genuinely paranormal or has some weird connections to the other side, and my mom agreed. We're both somewhat superstitious, and we have our handful of ghost stories and stuff, but we also try to be logical. All of this combined, plus the general consensus that cats are spiritual beings, has us very, very convinced. But what are your thoughts? Assassin's Creed style parkour in Splinter Cell would be cool. I mean, that would be cool. I feel like I haven't really played much of the newer Assassin's Creed, but it definitively was like multiple generations behind on just having like good cover system and like the ability, like stealth mechanics, you know what I mean, within Assassin's Creed. It's got great, awesome, you know, parkouring and all that, but just making that fluidly move into a good stealth mechanic, I feel like. Well, I haven't really played Assassin's Creed Shadows, so I don't know. The best YouTuber, hello. Neo Bloodhaze, welcome back for 15 months, says went to Mayonnaise City and everyone knew you. You're inside my fridge. Just climbing around. Hey, what's up, bro? Welcome to Mayonnaise City. It's just like hundreds of opened mayonnaise canisters inside my fridge. That actually might make me gag. Alright guys, those of you who play Pokemon, the trading card game, what should I be looking for? Because I swear to God, I get so excited when I get like a full art card. It has like a 2-star in the bottom, because I think the stars are kind of important for rarity and that kind of thing. And then, I don't know. And then you scan it and it's like, it's worth $2. Like the fact that every Pokemon booster pack has like a holographic, a reverse holographic, and they just fucking suck. Like they're worth like 3 cents. It's just like, what's the point of making all these variations of holographic when they have like no meaning at all? I started playing Pokemon. My daughter-in-law got me going. That's awesome. There's some really fun ones. Look for Umbreon Full Art. Okay, what's that in? Like, do you remember what set that's featured in? So, Joel, you must be only able to read the first 3 words of the most recent email I sent in that thread, and I referred to the prior 2 or so emails. You're like, no, I can't do self-referential. What do I want to build? I mean, I do want to collect a bunch of Dragonites, but I don't really care about... I don't know. I'm like more of a collector, maybe a bit of a hoarder, just basically just feeding the addiction of like opening up stuff and feeling like I got something rare. Alright, we'll go back to that email. I'm sorry about that. Also, I don't know why. Down here in this area, my nose is all stuffed. I'm straight stuffed, homie. And a little bit of a gambler. Okay, Kevin, how do we do this? So do I start with the one from 20 minutes ago, then click the next one, or like there's three emails in this chain, like which one do you want me to read? Just because something is considered valuable ain't gonna make every collector happy. Oh, that's fair. What's my favorite evolution? That's a good question, honestly. I used to always, back in the day, really like Vaporeon, but Jolteon was cool. Flareon's pretty cool too, but I don't know how I feel about Umbreon or the fairy one or whatever it is. Hey Joel, what's your thoughts on these YouTube channels that are like creepypasta readers getting demonetized all of a sudden this past week? Is that happening? Like, I keep hearing about it, but which channels are they? Narration channels demonetized. I mean, that'd be so sad. So we got Aggro Squirrel narrates. Channel demonetized. The saga begins. YouTube demonetized my channel. YouTube is demonetizing AI channels. So I know that people were like, it's getting confused if you're like a faceless YouTuber. AI faceless channels getting demonetized at scale. I just don't understand why YouTube even allowed it to begin with. Like, why were they like allowing a bunch of AI and then monetizing them just to like revert it? Like, were they training some AI with their AI, or like what was the plan there? I didn't really understand. Joel, I saw that 45% of Gen Z has never asked a person out. Thoughts? I guess because everybody, spends so much time on the internet and like doesn't have any confidence and whatever, and so if you spend most of your middle school, high school years just like sitting on the internet, like it's gonna be fucking hard to do anything. So I just say go ask somebody out. Just say fuck it, go ask them out. Who cares? If they say no, then you just move on. You would like Vaporeon. Yeah, but if you really think about it, she's the most compatible. Where do I live? In Portland. Tree pollen is crazy. My I don't know why. I think it's just I have like these blankets around me or whatever for my recording area, and I feel like those are filled with just like cancer bullshit. What would I do with them? I'm a local Poke expert. Yeah, wait, by the way, 2 double gold stars equals SRR special illustration rare. You really want these. 3 gold stars hyper rare, not worth much. Really? Why aren't they worth much? 2 silver, ultra rare, mostly full arts, and 1 gold star is regular illustration. Yeah, it's just weird. Then I have this app that like scans them, and then I don't know. Maybe I thought I got like 2. I guess maybe it wasn't a gold stars. I remember one was weird. It was like a pink star and a green star. I didn't understand that. What's up, Jeanette? I don't know. It's kind of strange though. Like I am fortunate that my channel hasn't had any issues. Hopefully I would even have somebody to like talk to if things got bad. My 204k subscriber YouTube channel got demonetized. Monetized the YouTube channel in 5 days only to prove it's not luck. YouTube tips, avoid getting demonetized. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I got to keep putting my human voice thing over it. I guess. What app is it? Let me check. Let me look right quick. Jay said the Dragonite you pulled, if it gets a PSA 10, it's $350. Oh, whatever. I'm only gonna get a PSA on something if it. Yeah. So I was using Grindr to like to scan all these cards, and it's like please only take pictures of penises, would you? It's called price charting. I don't know. But I hear there's one called like Collector or something. Collect R. I don't know. I got to the point that casual Pokemon players didn't want to battle because my teams were IV, EV trained and they weren't. Interesting. Your card values are determined by pre-stig, E, and gameplay. What's gameplay? Let's have you change the time of these streams. Those 11 p.m. streams were murder on my sleep schedule. It's dog shit as is. Oh, damn. It wasn't just to fall asleep. Did you sell all your Pokemon cards, Joel? Well, I still have a bunch from my childhood that, honestly, I might get priced. Also, dudes, I found a card shop near me. They have 2 holographic Charizards. They're not first edition. They're not shadowless. They're just base set holographic Charizards. They want $175 for each. Does that not sound like kind of a good deal? If you play the trading card, you would understand. Oh, yeah. My bro, save them for Let's Read Junior. I mean, that's fair, too. I mean, I guess they could accrue value over time, perhaps. Price charting is terrible. Site for game pricing. Okay, yeah, I don't know. Oh, wait. Is it? Okay, so you're saying that, like, maybe... But it seems like it's pulling stuff from, like, latest eBay... It's, like, pulling stuff from, like, latest eBay sales or something? Is there another app? What app should I use, then? Yeah, if the world blows up, I better sell my Pokemon cards as fast as possible. And then have the money, and then die holding all of my money next to me. If it's ripped and torn, that makes sense. Just make sure they look good. But yeah, it's actually a good deal. I was gonna say, yeah, it seems really strange. TCG Collector. Huh. So, but I just feel like I can't imagine that the prices would be that much different. Who price checks the price checkers on Pokemon, though? Yeah, I've always kind of wondered that with the grading systems, too. Like, what's to stop, like, the TSA grading or whatever it's called, like, what's to stop the grading things from being corrupt and, like, turning a PSA 8 into a PSA 10, you know what I mean? I'm so naturally funny, thanks. I don't even know what I said. Probably a fart joke. Okay, next the weird part, cat. Okay, yeah, so the cat story, did that one. Okay. Grading is a ripoff too. Yeah, how much does it cost? Back in 2007, I was a fire investigator for a large paid fire department. We had a 4-alarm fire at a group of 6 large buildings that were built in the early 1900s. Heavy timber and brick construction, with each being 7 to 9 stories tall. For years, the floors were cleaned with an oil-based chemical, so these buildings were essentially one big matchstick, and the fire came in at around 2 in the morning. The fire was stopped after it destroyed 3 of the 6 buildings, and later in the afternoon, we, the investigators, were having a meeting on site when a captain from one of the engines came up to us and said that when he was looking for a fire extension in the 4th building, he heard, as he described, several blood-curdling screams coming from what he thought was the basement area. He said the water was too deep, and with limited lighting he was unable to do a complete search of the area. And by the next day, we knew the water would have drained out of the building, so I volunteered to go check it out, me, myself, and a big flashlight. I entered from street level, which was actually the 3rd floor with a sub-basement and then the basement itself, so 5 floors to go down. And where the light from my flashlight was not focused on it was a total blacked out... Wait, what? Where the light from my flashlight was not focused on, it was... Oh, I see. Yes. Yeah, it's like... I feel like I gotta blow my nose real quick, guys. 1 second. I'm gonna take a whiz. Sorry. I'm back. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I'm better now. Jack and Coke or pomegranate liquor with pomegranate juice. I think the second one sounds good. Had a nice whiz. Yeah, I feel good. I just keep trying to think, like, you know, I talk about, like, my one friend, his daughters, the one's 5, the one's 9, and I don't know what I don't know what to do for, like, the 5-year-old. I know it's not my kid, but you always feel, like, semi-responsible whenever you've been around someone their whole existence, and, like, she just gets, like, man, like, especially when it comes to her sister, she just gets so incredibly jealous, so incredibly, like, combative, so incredibly whiny. And she, you know, and she just all, like, when she doesn't get something, she, like, folds her hand and stomps around and bird to bird, you know. And I don't know, and just, like, wonder if there's, like, I just get so worried that if she just continues to exist like that, that one day she's just gonna grow up and suck, you know what I mean? Like, no one's gonna like her, and that's just, like, her. And but I feel like there's gotta be a way to, like, I don't know. They just, like, they get along fine, but they're like, it reminds me of, like, my parents' dogs, you know? Like, you try to pet the one, like the one dog, and like the other one flies over and like needs to be fucking involved and needs, you know what I mean? It's just like, and then they fight. I don't even know. It's just fucking, I guess they are just like little creatures, but carry her on a camping trip in the Appalachian Mountain. That'll teach her. Yeah, we'll just leave her out there to figure her way out. What's the age difference? Yeah, the one's 9, one's 5, so they're like 4 years apart from each other. Yeah. Hopefully she grows out of it. Your friend can handle it appropriately. Well, yeah, sometimes, I don't know, like, I love him, but like, I just feel like he needs to like nip certain things in the bud like as fast as possible, and he kind of just, I don't know, sometimes I kind of wonder, since they're like separated, or, you know, like him and his, you know, baby mama are separated. It's not to be mean, but sometimes I worry that it's like those kind of environments, you can't like, you almost feel limited in your ability to like discipline, because you worry like, oh, is my kid gonna like say I'm the bad one, or, you know, not look forward to coming to my house whenever I have, you know what I mean? I'm just thinking like, man, that would be such a fucking difficult position to be in, especially if you know that they could like paint you out to be a bad person to the other one or whatever. But my kid is going through that. You have to help teach them emotional regulation. Take a breath and relax your face. Yeah, that's true. I was a little hooligan until I was like 15. I guess that's fair too. Things just kind of like taper out when the world kind of like hits you in the grill, but frick. The CIA tortured your brother. That's funny. Did MK Ultra experiments on his brain. Where the light from my flashlight was not focused on, it was a total blacked out environment. I couldn't see my hand right in front of my own face. No sound other than my breathing and the creaking and popping of the old wooden stairwell that I was climbing down. Firefighting is a pitch black job for the most part, so I wasn't freaking out about the lack of lighting. When I reached the sub-basement level, I heard a distinct male voice say, "Stop. Don't go any further." It came from further down the stairs. Now, it wasn't demonic sounding. It was just a male's deep voice, maybe a little gruff. I hesitated, thinking my mind was actually playing tricks on me, and I shone my flashlight down the steps, but the floors were roughly 20 feet apart, so I couldn't really see the next landing. And there was a landing into each floor's fire door and another halfway between. I was between the sub-basement landing and the next halfway landing when this happened, so technically I should have been able to see at least the outline of the next landing, but my flashlight's glow was just eaten up by the darkness. I remember I took 2 more steps down, and then my heart skipped a beat, or probably beats, because in a more forceful and louder voice it said, "Stop!" It wasn't a quick stop. I guess it was a drawn out. Me and my baby sister used to fight all the time as kids, and now we're grown and we can't get away from each other. We're always doing something or asking where each other's at. Oh, that's good. Yeah. I mean, they definitely, I always try to like tell them that. They're like, I'm like, you guys are sisters. You're going to be best friends forever. You know, maybe you can kind of like implant that into their mind that they are on each other's side, you know. But sometimes it's like such a silly little competitive environment that results in like such an immature crash out. But like, I don't, you know what I mean? I don't know how to like console any of that shit. I feel like with like when you're dealing with like boys, the only thing that boys ever say to each other is like, bro, chill out, you're acting like a girl. And then the second you say that, it's like a boy chills out and stops acting like that. But with a girl, whenever they're acting like that, what do you even say to them? Chill out, you're acting like yourself. What the fuck are you doing? I've seen the Mario Galaxy movie last week. Me and my friend and his dad watched it, and it was a fun movie. Yeah, definitely. I thought it was better than the first one, too. It was just a solid little silly experience, and you know what I mean? I remember I took 2 more steps down, and then my heart skipped a beat, or probably beats, because in a more forceful and louder voice it said, "Stop." It wasn't some quick stop, it was sort of drawn out, a very matter-of-fact stop. And that did it for me. I turned around and started making my way back up to the level I came in on. Now, I'll say that I'll be the first to say that I was finally scared and doing a little full-body shaking because I couldn't go fast because I had to visualize each and every step with my flashlight's glow. I finally made it back into the beautiful sunshine and told my chief that it was just too dark to adequately do a... Stop. Halt. I finally made it back into the beautiful sunshine and told my chief that it was just too dark to adequately do a search. I wasn't about to tell him about the voice. He probably would have told me that I was nuts. Now, later that week, we had to have that building demolished, and once the debris was removed down to the basement level, we ran a cadaver dog over the area and it hit on nothing. And then, just to say that we covered all the bases, we then had a forensic team come in and go through that area and they found nothing. Now, I'm not sure how you would classify this type of occurrence, but I'll go to my grave knowing what I heard. Joel, who's your favorite actor and actress? Maybe like Daniel Day-Lewis and the lady who did the voice of Bart Simpson. I don't know, man. I'm just not I have like very few. All of Hollywood is just so lame, you know what I mean? Do I believe in ghosts? I mean, I believe in like spirits and shit like that, like maybe demons or something pretending to be human. I have no idea. Also, pink and green stars on a card are mega attack rare, so you also want those, especially the Dragonite one. Really? What the fuck is wrong with my scanning bullshit, dude? Tell me how the frick. Dude, I'll have to send you some and let me know what you think, cause oh yeah, what was the app you guys want me to download? Was it Collector? I already have it right here. Damn. I'll have to get Collector Plus. I don't know. What made me believe? I mean, I don't know. I grew up believing in, you know, Christian stuff or whatever. So, like, the Christian context is just, like, you'll see every Christian saying that, like, ghosts are just, like, demons pretending to be people because, in reality, the people's souls have either moved on to the next heaven or hell, basically. I mean, I could be completely wrong. I'll be honest with you, I don't know. Sometimes I think like ghosts could also just be like, you know, impact memories, like echoes of what once was. Speaking of ghosts, in English class, we're going to read the book called Ghost. And you open it, it just says boo. It just says boo in big letters, and that's it. Ah! Sonomi, do you really know me? I only believe in Santa Claus, yeah. I've had my fair share of haunts over 3 decades, not consistently, but still. Yeah, I can't imagine, man. That would just be too much for my brain to handle. But I get me, you know, it would. I feel like once it would happen, it just like wouldn't stop happening to me. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm that kind of person where like once that shit kicks in, it like knows that I know, and now it wants me to know all the time. That story was pretty good with the fucking, I don't know, I like those stories where it's like search and rescue stuff or like police officers investigating something and having a spooky ghost person do something to them. I guarantee you seeing ghosts just didn't realize, given where you live. Uh-oh. What would I have seen though? Like you think just like someone walking their dog or some shit and they're like, hello, and they're like, hello. I'm a fucking ghost. Do I have any more? Yeah, I saw a ghost on Grindr. Ghost cock. I listened to the story you read about the little girl getting slapped by a ghost. I won't. It's just spooky. Dude, to the Wikipedia app has a feature that lets you see articles about stuff near you. It's nuts. About stuff near you? What do you mean? Oh, like stuff that happened that's popular near you. I try to spend equal time with my friends' kids, but sometimes just explaining that you care about them both equally, and now is the time I am spending with her, and then I will spend time with you too. Yeah, well, that's the most ridiculous part is, like, I was with the little one prior to the bigger one getting home from, like, gymnastics or whatever, and we were literally, like, playing for freaking probably, like, an hour or two, you know what I mean? Just outside doing stupid shit. And then, like, it's like as soon as she sees that, she's like, you always play with her. It's like, what are you talking about? Do you have no concept of fucking time? I clocked it right here. Now, I never posted anything on here before, but I'm at a loss for words this morning. My son, who's 4, told me this morning, me, 26-year-old female, that his ghost brother has told him that he has to kill me. Now, let me start this out by saying my son does not watch graphic television shows, nothing violent, and he's a dinosaur-loving kid and mostly watching Land Before Time and the occasional Jurassic Park or Jurassic World movies with me and my fiancé, who's a 31-year-old male. Now, we recently just bought our house, about 2 months ago now, and I started to notice little things, but nothing that was sounding any sort of warning bells. I've lived in haunted houses before, so I just went on with my day and essentially ignored it until one night at around 11:30, I heard whistling. Now, I live in the Appalachians, so whistling at night is a big no-no in my house, so I call out to my fiancé and tell him to stop whistling in the house. It will invite weird spirits in. He comes into the bedroom, and I said to him, "Why the hell are you whispering?" Oh, she just doesn't like to share. No, dude, she has, like, no... It's just, like, so many things. Doesn't like to share, like, immediately just, like, goes into, like, psychotic crying mode and so many things. And I'm just like, dude, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, you're 5 years old. Like, this... I feel like these things should be like, worked out to some degree by now, but... I don't know. And then her, like... You know, that... My buddy's dating this one girl, and she's got, like, this son who's 6 who, you know, only is ever in that environment, like, here and there, but he's fucking crazy. And he's just been, like, such a bad influence on her because he's just balls to the wall insane. Like, he's the type of kid who, like, has literally never had any discipline in his life ever. And then, you know, he'll fucking fall to the ground in the parking lot and just, like, lose his goddamn mind. And, you know... I remember, like, the first time I fucking met him, he was, like, took, like, sugar packets at the diner and, like, put them in his mouth and just started chewing on them till they, like, dissolved. And I'm, like, looking at his mom, like, expecting her to do something. And she's like, now, come on, don't do that. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? And it's, you know what I mean? It's not my place to... fucking correct somebody else's kid unless it's, like, inconveniencing me, I guess. But in my head, I'm like, this would not. This is so bad. Because then it, you know, his behavior, like, eventually, you know, projects itself onto the other ones, and it's just like, it's just so fucking annoying. You're gonna start going to Walmart to buy new Pokemon cards? I don't think I'll be anybody like that where I'm, like, camping out or anything. Yeah, the gentle parenting is so insane, man. It's so insane. It's so delusional too. Like obviously, you know, you need to have restraint when it comes to, like, how much you discipline people or your techniques and that kind of stuff. But you certainly are, you know, like, at that point, if your kid's just, like, being a complete moron in a restaurant, just get up and leave. Like, literally pick them up, take them home, and just be like, we're never going out to eat again if you act like that. I mean, I would assume, right? Is that the right decision? But hey, Russian letters, thank you for the 2. I don't know how to say that. I didn't know I was such a Pokemon weeb, Joe. It's cool. I mean, I love Pokemon in general. I've loved the lore, but it was just recently that I started cracking packs open just on a whim with a friend. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. I love this feeling. I love opening loot boxes over and over and over again. And I love the feeling of when you get to the holographic ones and like the full art one is like sticking to the back of like the other one. And you're like, it's a little bit thicker. There's got to be a full art behind here. And then you do, and then you're like, oh my god. And I love the, I'm fucking, and I'm like, I've been like meticulous about it, putting them in sleeves and stupid shit. Anything graded yet? I mean, I have like, so remember like the base set Blastoise, Venusaur, and Charizards, but it was like a promo thing with like a little Pikachu head symbol on like the right of the image. I have those graded as like 10s that I bought, but I bought those just because I wanted them. And I guess each of them are worth like a couple $100, even though I didn't spend that when I bought it off eBay. So you'll see, because you can't control children. My parents literally told me to spank my 1-year-olds. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do that, but I mean, I just feel like there's got to be like, certainly not the gentle parenting such. Bring back cap collecting. Hell yeah, dude. Pogs. David, thank you for the 2 says, imagine seeing a ghost while using the restroom. Yeah, you just like shit. You're like peeing, but then you shit on the floor. Yeah, Lynn, I could, probably do that. That's no worries. I have a graded Magic the Gathering card. The graded cards ain't worth it unless you want them as a trophy. That's kind of what I thought. I mean, objectively speaking, my tentative, like, secondary objective, I guess, or primary objective is to get as many Dragonites as I possibly can, just because I do have, like, a little display of all my stupid Dragonites that I have, because like I said, but, I don't know. It's just a fun little thing for now, and who knows, maybe it'll wear off pretty fast, and maybe I'll stop buying packs, or maybe it'll become a terrible addiction where my entire house is filled with bulk cards, and I've lost all my money, and I'm going to be begging for donations so I can buy more. And then I smoke crack. Spanking didn't affect me as a hyperactive autism kid, but timeout was hell. Absolute hell. Let's read. Hell yeah, man. I just love anything Pokemon. Helping out fellow collectors, just so cool. How many YouTube is merging with my Pokemon. I know, yeah, it just came out of nowhere, and I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot about this. And then YouTube keeps suggesting to me all these Pokemon collection videos, and I actually feel like I'm actually been learning a lot in like the past week, so it's been fun. I don't know if I'll ever play the game, but maybe there's a fun one I can play on the internet that's like a pre-built game, and you can just like build your deck through it. I did a thing with Magic the Gathering collecting charmed strays. I have so many now. That's cool. High key, that method was crazy, but worked. I don't have kids yet, so probably have no time. I think it's probably just a balance of the 2 types of parenting. Teaching empathy and self-regulating is important too. I just wonder what she gets away with at her mom's, because I almost her mom's not a nice person, so I just wonder to myself if she almost sees the brattiness and almost finds it enjoyable or something weird, you know what I mean? Oh, that's just me as little or something. I don't fucking know. I'm gonna do a real life Pokemon story reads. Hell yeah. I feel like a lot of people who are calling for their parenting style gentle parenting are actually permissive parenting, where you just don't discipline or control. Yeah, exactly. It's just crazy. But yeah, I love Pokemon lore. If I would just sit there and listen to those 150 a brat enjoyer 150 things you didn't know about Pokemon Blue and Red, because dude, there was a period of time when I was in school, I was fucking convinced that whenever you did the glitch that makes the SSN leave, but you can go back and surf out in the water, that when you go to the right to that island, there's a truck, and you can move the truck, and then there's a Pokeball under, and it's got Mew there. And then it didn't work, and I was like, what? You use strength to move the truck, and it didn't work. And then someone at school was like, you need to use a level 100 Machamp with strength to get it to move. And I was like, oh, that makes total sense. That makes total fucking sense. I'm a champ. 100 level? Of course it's gonna move. And then I grinded that fucking Machamp to get it to 100, facing the Elite Four 50 times. And then I go over there with strength, and then it doesn't do it again. And I'm just like, fuck this shit. I threw my Game Boy out the window. hit a mailman in the head, gave him a aneurysm. Sad. Sad but true, folks. Sad but true. That's my situation. My ex-wife has no rules for my daughter at her house. Not when she sees me, it's more structure. My daughter actually looks my way more because I pay attention to her. Yeah, that's so ridiculous, yeah. I don't know. I get people like, I just wonder sometimes that people like use their kids almost to get back at their spouse in like a sadistic way, you know? Did you get the warm Easter egg in your basket? Yeah, it was all melded and shit. I just started putting out normal eggs this year, hiding just like egg yolks out in the yard. You have to like scoop them up. You get a penny for every yolk you bring back. What's up, Lux? Pokemon is basically turned into gambling, sadly, even has digital card opening packs. Yeah, I downloaded the app because I wanted to see if maybe that would like quench the thirst of opening a loot box, but it was like, because it was just like digital, it was, I forget what app it was, maybe like TCG Pocket, I think it was called. But even that, I'm just like, it's fun to open them and see what cards exist. And I remember I got this one, I think it was a Mew, and it was, you know, it's just digital, right? So it doesn't really matter. But it like started a cutscene, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, a fucking cutscene for a card. You know it's important, man. But it doesn't fucking matter. Do I still get Easter baskets? I feel like my mom, I'm not kidding, like my mom like low-key will make me some. But the thing is that she knows that I am trying to just like not eat any bad foods. And so she's kind enough to avoid giving me diabetes. Just when I was a kid, though, she was fine with it then. Whereas gentle parenting is still parenting. Life, like if your child is hitting, a traditional parent would smack them. A gentle parent would grab their arm and remove them, and permissive will say, stop. Yeah, that shit pisses me off. I don't even know. I don't know. Everyone's got some fucking problems. And it's not my responsibility to like fix them, but the worst part is like, I can't fix adults, but in my head, when I'm like around somebody else's kids for like most of their life, I feel like mentally responsible to prevent these kids from being, you know, to basically be normal people. But at the same time, I also realize that I have like wild limitations on how I would be able to even do that. The app helps explain how they play the actual game and give you practice in building decks. Some of my Poke friends use it when they are going for tournaments. Poke friends? Like Jigglypuff in real life? And it's just like some really obese person. The Reese's Carrots this year suck. Reese's Carrots? Never had them. My friend had a party and gave us all Easter baskets filled with skincare. Oh, that sounds nice. Also, don't tell anybody this, and this is not advising anybody, but I was like been having a little bit of trouble with my shoulder again back in the gym. So I am back on, for at least 4 to 5 weeks, the BPC 157 peptide. But it also is compounded with TB 500 and GK copper peptide or something like that. So apparently it's like the glow, you know, like the glistening glow. It's supposed to like really help your skin, the copper peptide of sorts. So obviously a lot of it's just anecdotal. It's not like, you know, FDA and all that approved, not advising anyone to do it, but I am curious where from. It was just like from a compounding pharmacy that I had, well, initially you work with someone that prescribes it for you, and you would have to consult with your doctor. I hate Jinx. You cannot convince me otherwise. I'll be honest with you. Jinx is weird character for sure, but just imagine if she lived in your house with you. All the possibilities. No, I'm just kidding. I feel like I could actually low-key see her having a really, really cool, epic, full art card. You know what I mean? Have you ever taken nootropics? I feel like isn't like Zin's considered a nootropic, or am I wrong? Unofficial Windows XP, watching this while working, having a spooky ghost story to share, sometime ghost related. Also, we have a blue tackle box of Pokemon cards at our house where a couple of We're a couple on a joint account. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, maybe they're worth something. I remember I like also at my parents' house found a bunch of like old bulk stuff. And it was crazy. Like I had some like Pikachus in there that are just like, when you get them back in the day, they kind of sucked. But they're apparently worth like $20 when I looked it up. So I don't know. A gentle parent, but my daughter cries if I yell at her once, so it works. But also she knows I mean it and we can pin her to the ground. She's aware of your strength. Do I like Easter peeps? My one friend does. I do not like peeps. I would prefer to just toss them in a microwave and watch them explode. I know someone was taking peptides and only the quality wasn't the best and was hospitalized her. Oh, damn. I'm very sorry to hear that. I mean, this prescribing pharmacy, this compounding pharmacy I've worked with, so only heard good things about it, so I'm hoping I'm not one of the accidental kills. He comes into our bedroom and I said to him, "Why the hell are you whistling at night?" And he goes pale and says, "I'm not whistling." And I'm thinking he's messing with me, so I just say, "Yeah, okay," and go to bed. Now the next morning I'm in the shower and he comes in and says, "Be honest with me. Were you pranking me last night?" And I, of course, tell him everything that happened and assured him that I was not pranking him. He is a skeptic and always was. Hey, Marianka, what's up, dude? I'll leave to Las Vegas next week, Joe. I don't know if I'll be here. Damn, dude, you're having a lot of fun. Just going fucking all over the place. Getting pranked. I heard Las Vegas is a good time. And I, of course, tell him everything that happened and assure him that I was not pranking him. He is a skeptic and always has been, and he again goes pale and just says, "Okay," and drops it. Nothing happened for about 2 weeks until 3 nights ago I was on a phone call with my cousin and heard a loud crash. My fiancé works night shift, so I immediately go into protector mode and assume someone was breaking in. That's how loud it was. I'm still on the phone with my cousin and she is witnessing everything that's happening. I call out asking if anyone is there. Now, I know, I'd be the first one killed in a horror movie, but if someone is in my house and I wanted to know what was... I know. I'd be the first one killed in a horror movie. You're going to WrestleMania next week with a friend. Oh, okay, that's sick. Oh, that's right. You said you like spent it, like, didn't you say how much did you spend? Like 10 grand on a fucking ticket? That is insane. Are you doing first class across the ocean? I would cry in an instant if I knew there was a spirit in my home. Yeah, that wouldn't be awesome. Also, my Orthodox friend, it's like their Holy Week, right? And they made me watch this movie. It's in Russian, and it's called, it is called The Island, right? And it's basically about this guy that was working on a barge with a captain during like World War II, and then the Germans show up and, force him to shoot his captain and then blow up the barge, and he falls into the water and washes ashore with some like Orthodox Orthodox priests or whatever. And basically for the next like 30 years, that's like his job is like being an Orthodox priest. Now granted, I'll be honest, it's like the most boring movie I've ever seen in my life as far as like nothing happening, but it's so interesting because the cinematography in it does everything in its power to make the most mundane and boring scenes look really, really good. What's up, Shorn? You know of an island? Which one's that? Cancun. 5K on my tickets. TKO overcharges for everything. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm very pro Second Amendment, but that ain't solving a ghost problem. Yeah, you need a vacuum cleaner. Every good American has the right to suck up every ghost in their house. With a Dyson, we can't allow people going into ghost schools with Dysons and just sucking everybody up. E Island, why is no one disappearing? What do we do? What do you mean? Michael Bay's The Island is a fun movie. Oh, I don't know if I've seen that. Oh, yeah, I do remember that. That was quite a while ago. But if someone is in my house, I wanted them to know that I was coming and not afraid, even though I clearly was. I get to the bottom of the stairs, and at first I see nothing, so I'm starting to feel less on edge until I walk out into my kitchen. I notice a candle. The 3-wick ones that you can buy at Walmart is halfway across the room. I look at the entry table where I had it sitting and a painting. What is it? I look at the entry. Dude, I might just throw this into chat BBC to get... It's actually not even like bad grammar that much, but I just need flow right now. I need my flow state. Why haven't you done a live stream on Monday? Monday's when a new video comes out, so like I usually do the recordings of the stories Sundays and Wednesdays, which is the days before the new recordings release on Mondays and Thursdays. Or you're asking why I didn't do one on Sunday? It's because it was a compilation day. Or fix this grammar, don't change the story. Burp, burp, burp. Chat QVC. Would you like to buy more? Isn't it kind of funny, like, it seems like all AI now do this thing where they like ask you a question at the end to keep you going. I don't know, it just seems like it wants to constantly engage you, which I guess that's not that interesting at all, actually. You could do one day where you just sit back and chat about whatever the chat is chatting about. Well, the thing is like my chat's not big enough for me to like really, it's not like it's like Asmongold 40,000 people or like Burnt Peanut or whatever, you know what I mean, type streams. So it's mainly I almost feel like I need something to give me structure, which is the stories, just to keep things going and stay on brand with like what's going on. Just so sad that I like changed the stream times and like it fell, and then directly after that it seemed like the videos fell as well, and it's so hard to tell what the fuck happened. But despite his name, there's not a lot of James that are saints. True. Would you let a vampire bite you and change you? Oh, no, dude, because then you have to be a vampire forever. I mean, sure, you can be young, but I don't really even know if I would really get much benefit being stuck like this forever. And then I have to constantly be thinking, like when I talk to my friends, like how I want to kill them and eat them, right? You know, or suck their blood. And then everybody dies around you, and then you gotta go live in a fucking gross castle. I don't know, it doesn't seem great. No poll tonight? If you got a good question, I'll ask it. I'll pull it up. Oh God, Joel, fix my life. I think we can, Kendra. What do you need fixing? We can figure it out. Did you ask already? Do you think it's worth paying $350 for a quick photo? Oh, like with one of the wrestlers? Oh man, that's really totally up to you. I mean, $350 is a lot, but I mean, you're already paying $5K to go to see it, right? So you're obviously like very excited about wrestling. So honestly, if it's, you know, sometimes you do have your memories in your head, right? But sometimes you see a photo and you're like, oh my God, remember that, you know? Do a poll on favorite Pokemon starters. Oh, good idea there, Timmy Two-Turn. Let's see, we got poll. Who is your starter Pokemon? Bulbasaur, Venusaur, what's his name? Charmander. No, not Venusaur. Sorry, what's the little one? I mean, Bulbasaur and Venusaur. I'm such a big Pokemon fan. Bulbasaur and Venusaur, the two starters. Charmander. Okay, Bulbasaur, Squirter, and Charmander. Start poll. Jump on that poll. Alright, one time John Cena absolutely came to the pavilion in my mall where Santa and Easter Bunny appear. I didn't see him. Hell, I was just on my lunch break trying to get to the food court. Of course you didn't see him. It's impossible. Pikachu? Pikachu is not a... It's a starter in like the show, but it's only a starter in Pokemon Yellow. Otherwise, Pokemon Blue and Red would be Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. Squirtle! Fucking brother! Hey, Jemian, good to see you. Take care. Thanks for stopping by. Squirtle. What story is he on? Story 200. We got one more hour to burn through these, so no worries. I notice a candle, one of those 3-wick ones that you can buy at Walmart, halfway across the room. I look at the entry table where I had it sitting, and a painting I also keep there was knocked over. So my first thought was, okay, the house was settling and it just knocked the candle over, no big deal. I picked everything up and set it back where I had it, though I thought it was strange that it mysteriously fell over, especially since I have a 4-year-old who runs all over the house all the time and the vibration from that hasn't knocked it off. And so I decided that I'd test to see what it would take to make it fall. I'm running, jumping, doing everything I can to try and get it to fall the way it did, and it's not budging. I even hit the table and it still didn't fall. And so of course I'm a little spooked, but decided to just go to bed. Last night, as I'm falling asleep, I heard loud banging coming from downstairs. Of course my fiancé is working again, so I have to go down and check it out for myself. I go down and get a very unsettling feeling. All of the hairs on my body are standing up and I feel like I'm being watched. I don't know what came over me, but I just said out loud, "I don't care that you're here, but please stop doing the things when I'm home alone, okay?" And then turned to walk up the stairs. Now you know that feeling where you have to run up the stairs because it feels like something's chasing you? That's the feeling I get. I turn around and say it's enough and that I will not be scared in my own home and walk to my bedroom. I continue to hear things during the night and my cat is very on edge. She's acting as if she was guarding my bedroom door. Now, about an hour later, at around 1 a.m., my son wakes up and asks if I will turn a movie on for him so he can fall back asleep, and so I do. And instead, I hear him mumbling in his room as if though he's talking. As if though. See, I always add that, as if though. But I'm gonna get beaten up in the comments, beaten up. Bulbasaur. Zar. I went to Pat's. I'm only paid for one WrestleMania, and that's one where Sheamus beat Daniel Bryan in 18 seconds, and Triple H versus Taker versus Cena versus Rock. Thinking of getting KFC. Oh shit. Have you ever heard of hook body suspension? I did that for Easter and it was so much fun. I've done maybe 20 of them and this was my worst one, but it's so exhilarating. Hook body suspension. Let's see. Hook body suspension. Oh. Where like you have piercings and then the hooks go into you and you hang by your skin. You did that for Easter? What the hell has you doing that for Easter for? That's a little strange. Do you do acupuncture? I think I kind of did one time where someone was like a certified like physical therapist and they did it where they put it of acupuncture into you and then connect it to like some electric nodes. I'll be honest with you, whatever the fuck they were doing, it was like not helpful. In fact, it like hit a nerve one time. I'm like, oh god. Joel versus The Rock. Imagine a wrestler just named Joel. Introducing Joel. And then you just walk out in like khakis and sandals. What's up, dudes? What's going on? I forgot to work out. I don't know any moves. Maybe we all can just like go get Jersey Mike's. Joel of Penisvania. Penisvania. Holy shit. How have I not seen that before? I've grown up here my whole life and nobody's ever written Penisvania. God damn it, that's good. Write that down, write that down. I wonder if you would meet Sol Ruka or Liv Morgan, Joel. I wonder if they would come to one of my shows, honestly. They're probably watching this live stream right now. Instead, I hear him mumbling in his room as if he's talking to somebody. Now, this is not abnormal for him, as he has a very big imagination and loves playing and coming up with his own worlds, creating stories for them as he goes. Now, about an hour ago, he's sitting with me and looks at me with a straight face and says, "Mommy, my ghost brother says I have to kill you. But I would never do that because I love you so much." Now I'm completely in shock and say to him, "What did you just say?" And he repeated it. And I then prodded, asking for more information. And he's been going through this phase where he's been more defiant. But again, he's 4, so I don't think anything of it. But he tells me his ghost brother tells him to break toys, hurt animals, stomp on flowers he wants to pick for me, etc. Now, my son is very kind and very empathetic, and him saying all of this to me is very out of character for him. He's the child who won't kill a bug because what if they have a family and they miss them? That kind of little boy, so I'm in complete shock. I'm not sure if this is a made-up fantasy for him or if I should actually be concerned. And I come from a long line of people sensitive to the paranormal, so experiences are something I'm very familiar with, but not to this caliber. And I'm also worried for my son's safety and well-being, especially if it's something I cannot see to protect him from. If anyone has any advice, please tell me. He's not neurotypical. I tried to watch that creepypasta guy. I thought it'd be cartoons. That creepypasta guy, I'm not familiar. That one. You sound like a 40-year-old man who's been drinking too much alcohol. Me? I guess we're getting there. I mean, I'm not 40 yet, but I could turn 40 and become an alcoholic, I suppose. Just a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. My grandma gave me an 850-calorie Reese's Easter egg. Isn't that so funny? Like, I feel like younger generations are just going to be a lot more conscious of calorie intake. Joel, isn't your birthday coming up? I guess 2 months from now, huh? I sound like a young alcoholic. Come on, guys. Is this Joel guy AI? June 47th, yeah. I mean, honestly, when I was younger, I probably would have ate the entire 850-calorie egg by the time I made it home from my grandmother's. That's just how it was. I just house as much Reese's candy as humanly possible. Are you streaming your birthday even if it's not a Sunday or Wednesday? Let's see, bro. I don't know, man. I'm not like super stoked about my birthday this year. I guess I never really was. So, I guess it would be June 3rd into the 4th. So honestly, I could probably stream June 3rd, which is a Wednesday. We'll see what happens. We'll have to see what happens. You love Turtwig. What's Turtwig? Yeah, this is where I start to age backwards, like Benjamin Butthole. I knew it, Joel. You are AI. Should I be concerned by this particular rash overwhelming my body? No. It's just part of the healing process. Okay, we got that one. My son has been talking to a ghost brother. He wants to murder me with a hammer. So now Hakuna Matata is stuck in my head. Hakuna Matata is stuck in my head. Not ready to be 28 this year? Dude, you're at your peak, bro. You're at your peak. I've been eating all my daughter's Easter candy. 100-calorie pack of sour candies at a time. Man, isn't food just like so gross? You're excited for my birthday stream? Well, thank you. It should be so sick. Don't you criticize people who don't get excited for their birthdays? Yeah, I think I do, man. I've become that which I hate. I don't know, man. I really got to get this YouTube number shit figured out because I feel like I don't know. It's really, it's like just running in the back of my head because the worst thing about doing the YouTube thing is you get a little, you get the success, and then as soon as something feels like it's dying, you're just like, no, not yet. Like you sold your soul to the devil, and then the devil is here. But honestly, I'm just overreacting because I'm kind of retarded. I wouldn't mind being 28 again for a weekend. One weekend. Would you give up 1 year of your life to be 28 for a weekend? You're about to go to sleep on my vids. Thanks, dude. Hey, Dunk. Dunk is a dad unk. The day that I become 100% a believer in the paranormal was when I went to the mall with my mother and sister. My mom stayed behind looking at some makeup in Macy's, and so my sister and I decided to head to Claire's, and as we were passing by a lounge area with tables and sofas, I got this feeling of being watched. I turned my head and locked eyes with the girl who I assumed was with a family at the lounge area because she was resting her arm on one of the ladies sitting on the couch. But the more I stared at the girl, the more creepy details I saw. She was pale and grinning with her mouth closed. She wore a white dress and her hair hung over the sides of her face, almost like The Grudge. She never blinked and just sort of stared at me. I finally stopped and turned to my sister. Damn, I really wanted to make it in there. I finally stopped and turned to my sister to tell her if she sees that girl staring at me, and she goes, "That sounded weird." That sounded weird. I am 41 this year, but unfortunately I have enough awareness to know I have a case of arrested development. Yeah, I mean, you just kind of are what you are, right? Like, everybody's, like, there's this one weird thing on, like, in the YouTube realm I noticed, is that, like, Gen Z, really wants millennials to, like, grow up and fuck off, you know what I mean? Which is reasonable. It's sort of like a competitive thing. Like, you don't want people, like, competing upon your market of, cornering the market on, like, humor and style and fashion and sexuality and all this, like, shit, whenever there's also, like, a group of basically identical Arrested Development millennials that are stuck in that same sort of realm. But it's just, like, you're just going to be what you're going to be. Like, people who are 26 criticizing 35-year-olds are going to be 35 and essentially be the same person when they're that age too. It's like, you are who you are. Your brain is maxed out. Your frontal lobe is developed, and you're just, we're all just a big series of flumps. You know what I mean? We're just a bunch of flumps, and it's okay to be a bit flumpy from time to time. You really don't need to strive for any better than exactly what you are. It is a-okay to be fine. I finally stopped and turned to my sister to tell her if she sees that girl staring at me, and I finally stopped and turned to my sister to tell her if she sees that girl staring at me, and she goes, "What girl?" I pointed toward the couch where she had been, and now she was gone. I looked all around, and she was completely gone. The lady she had her hand on seemed to not even notice her missing, as if she never was even there. And the story is completely true, and that's why I believe in the paranormal. I don't feel like I'm 40-ish, and I have people who mistake me for 30. However, I am not a Disney adult. I am simply stinky. That's the thing. It's like you're always going to feel younger, but just be 40. Just be, do your best not to eat a bunch of sugar so you don't die early. Don't drink a bunch of alcohol or get addicted to benzos. Take care of your kids. Go exercise. Maybe pick up like a hobby that makes you happy you can sell on Etsy or some shit. Find a guy that doesn't beat the shit out of you. Like, it's just like life is pretty fucking simple. And it's okay. Just be 40. No one cares. Microplastic preservation, yeah. Alright guys, we got 2 more stories here. I'm having problems just finding the basics. Can you have an adult conversation? No? Well, fuck. Oh, like with a person, you mean? Well, I don't know. It's just a numbers game, right? So... yeah, right. Just gotta do it again. Oh, shitty date. Oh, go GG, go next. Shitty date, GG, go next. And just keep doing it over and over again till one of them just sucks the least, I swear on everything that is a true... everything that is... I swear on everything that is a true... what the fuck? Oh. I swear on everything that this is a true story. This happened just a few weeks ago on Christmas Eve. This is December 24th, 2025, at my parents' house, and I've only changed the names for privacy. Now, for context, my brother, a 32-year-old male, is married to Amanda, a 33-year-old female. My mom wanted to bring the families together, so she invited Amanda's mother, Diana, and Amanda's sister, Isabella, to join us for dinner. Now, to organize the seating arrangements, my mom decided to be a bit formal and wrote everyone's names on little cards, placing them on the plates. She set it up so that my sister-in-law's mother, Diana, and her sister, Isabella, would be seated right next to each other. Now, here's where it gets weird. When my mom was writing the card for Isabella's seat, for some reason she still can't explain, and she didn't write Isabella. What? When my mom was writing the card for Isabella's seat, for some reason she still can't explain, she didn't write Isabella. Oh. Hey kitty. What's up, dog? Big dog cat in the house. It's so funny when he just rolls up and shoves his face into my leg. Also, Pradeep pops up in the chat right when actual Pradeep walks by my leg. That's kind of funny. Make sure you're sure about someone before you get serious. For sure, dude. Faux show. Faux shizow. Do all reverse images and a clarity check. Oh, you're talking about like long distance relationships and stuff. Yeah, I can't, oh god. Dating like in your elder time, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, everyone's a goddamn Nigerian prince. When my mom was writing the card for Isabella's seat, for some reason she still can't explain, she didn't write Isabella. Instead, she wrote the name Amber, and she just placed it on the table without realizing what she had done. When everyone went to sit down, Diane looked at the place sitting next to her and saw the name Amber on the card, and immediately burst into tears. It turns out that Diana had another daughter named Amber, who passed away tragically when she was only 5 or 6 years old. The thing is, nobody in my family knew this. We had no idea Amber ever existed, and my mom had absolutely no knowledge of this history. There was no way for her to have confused the names because she didn't know the name Amber to begin with. and we were all left in shock. Since there is no logical explanation for how my mom pulled that name out of thin air, we can't help but feel it was a sign, maybe a little nudge from a spirit to let her mom know that she was with us that night. Has anyone else ever experienced something like this? I have a feeling that they probably did know, and then, being older women, they were gossiping like crazy, and then she just sort of like subconsciously was thinking about it and wrote it on the card. Whoops. Or maybe she did it specifically to get rid of her, I don't know. I know, we're all the Nigerian princesses. Long distance is expensive. We're trying to see each other soon, but we both have to pay taxes. It just sucks balls. Yeah, man. I mean, it is not an ideal world, because, I mean, like, what if you want to move in together? You're like, well, first you got to get citizenship, and then I got to marry you, and then I got, you know what I mean? It's just like, what if you don't really like each other that much? How do you argue with people who genuinely believe that you can't be bisexual as a man, at least, and it's just a half-closeted gay? I don't know. I'm sure they're just talking shit. Who knows? I guess you just gotta prove. You gotta prove it to them. You gotta go on a date with a dude and a chick, same time. They won't know what hit them. You love being alone? That's good. I mean, if you just genuinely really enjoy being by yourself, that's totally awesome. I don't know. I go over to my one friend's house. They're like, I told you about the Orthodoxers. And they just, like, it's weird. It's like there's this always the question of, like, what's going on? What's your love life like? What's your, and then there's always this, like, low-key brag, when they talk about, well, first, like, it's like some strange, not like stick up their ass, but it's like, it's always this sort of, like, low-key brag that, like, Orthodox Christianity is the only, you gotta come to Orthodox Christian church. You gotta come to that. It's like, it's the most boring shit I've ever been to. I don't even know what you're supposed to really gain from it other than doing, like, the weird rituals over and over again. Not trying to be mean or anything like that, but this sort of, like, pompous perspective that their belief, their sub-belief of Christianity is, like, the most correct one, right? And then it's also like a low-key brag all the time when they talk about people within their church, and they're like, he's from one of 6 kids, she's from one of 7. It's like, okay, great. You guys are incredibly fertile, and you exist in a community together and share unifying beliefs. That is awesome. I appreciate that. Rituals like Catholics, yeah, like the Orthodox Christians, I think, are, like, basically very similar offshoots to, like, Catholics. Not completely. I know the like right now my buddy's son is, like, dating a Catholic girl, and that's, like, a big issue. Like, oh, she can't be Catholic and him be Orthodox. It's like, guys, you both believe in Christ, you fucking retards. Like, just why not just be followers of Christ, not this, like, weird subdivision religious label. Doesn't matter. Like, the acting like one of you is, like, Hindi or something, or believes in Bushido, or, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, what the fuck? You can't date a Catholic? I don't know. They act like it's, like, a big fucking deal. Like, one of them is going to have to convert. Because Catholics do that, too. They're like, you need to come to my Catholic church and do a Catholic wedding and do a Catholic conversion and blah, 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 blah. Same with Islam. It's like, you gotta convert. Right. Everything's like, you can't, like, listen, you both want to fuck each other. You've come up with 9,000 reasons in your head that justifies your ability to have sex and procreate. Just maybe do that first and then figure out the other stuff later. That's how the rest of humanity has moved on. I think religion is being used as a shield often to excuse bigotry. It's not a good look on the religions as a whole. Oh yeah, I mean, it's fucking rampant everywhere, and every religion, like, yeah. You obviously you can get more nuance than that on the specifics, but no, for sure, these are archaic concepts that have been around a long time, and they like to maintain it because it makes sense to them, and that's totally fine too, because it also in some ways kind of creates a unifying culture that stays, I guess, like familiar with itself in like a weird way. Like if you were like a group of bacteria and all the bacteria had similar, I don't know, aspects of your genome, then you're like maybe have a stronger chance of like survival, if you want to look at culture that way, you know. Not every, you know, part of the bacteria is going to be excited about it, but I don't know. Forced breeding. Exactly. Then maybe some of y'all would get some bitches. No, I'm just playing. Nature and energy, everything else is bullshit, right? Yeah, I mean, you're going to see someone, you're going to like their face, you're going to like their butt, you're going to like the weird bits between their legs. Like, just fucking say just enough words to create another version of yourself. You need a femboy wife. I believe in you. My mom was a Catholic. She grew up in an orphanage from the age of 4 to 18. Damn, that sounds kind of rough, honestly. Infographic show did say there's 50,000 different branches related to the same Jesus Christ, but each church seems to think they're better. Right, I mean, same with like, imagine how the Sunnis and Shias feel. Imagine how like the Orthodox, you know, Jews feel compared to who's running Israel. You know what I mean? Like, you know, everybody's got some subdivision of belief that, or like then obviously all the other offshoots with like the Church of Mathematicians or whatever, or the Church of Science, or you know what I mean? It's just all another series of religious practices that seem very confusing, but it's what people are familiar with, so that's the way, that is the truth, that is the light, etc. That'd be funny to get a shirt that says that, like, I am the way, the truth, and the light, life, etc. Moses' wife circumcised their son and obeyed God's laws so Moses could do his thing. Did he? I don't even. What was his thing? Circumcision's fucking weird. Like, what? That was one of the weirdest ones. Like, cut off part of your wiener to show that you are like God's people or something. I don't even understand that one. And the fact that people still do circumcisions to me just seems like so barbaric. I mean, it's literally little like babies, like little infants, and they're like, all right, now for the part where we cut their wiener off. Here we go. Like, what if I just used a little bit of Irish body wash? Nope, not gonna cut it. We need to completely remove all whatever that is right there. Is it worth it to move to another state, country for love? It's up to you, man. It's your subjective life experience. I won't tell you otherwise, but probably easier to just meet someone on fucking Tinder. You do not get scared of offending people. It does not offend me, but I am curious. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I wonder, like some of the shit that I talked about in previous streams, I genuinely do wonder if that's like been some of the causing of like my YouTube videos being 10 out of 10s. You know, maybe saying like one of the unsayable things within the realm of, I don't know. But that's honestly, it's like doesn't really, like I would much rather just like kind of be myself than constantly walk on eggshells, but at the same time, like, you have to censor yourself to a degree within the realm of entertainment, because it's just next to like an impossibility to be as real as possible without, I don't know, hemorrhaging some degree of monetization or fans or reputation or whatever the fuck, you know, all that bullshit. 19C, thank you for the 5, says, I like the Church of Mathematicians. Go forth and multiply. Exactly. That's awesome. Thank you. I'm never using dating apps ever again. I have a scary story due to Hot or Not dating app. Dating app called Hot or Not? Unless you're attracted only to like-minded viewers. Well, I honestly, I don't really just want like-minded viewers. I want people to have like a lively, you know, varied conversation. Like, I just think like one of the weirdest ones we had going back was someone who, like, it was the strangest thing ever. She like didn't believe in any of the authoritarian communistic leaning governments in the past, she didn't believe that any of those like killed, 100 million people. Like, they just didn't believe it. Like, just generally was like attributing most of those death statistics to like people that they killed via war or something. And then said it was all propaganda. And I'm just thinking, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, centralized authoritarian government, no matter whether it leans left or right, is going to kill people that disagree with them, and they still do it. So like, what? Why is it so hard to hear that your favorite word, communism, is associated with like authoritarianism, murder and gulags and starvation and all the stuff that those things, manifest as? And for some reason it was like so hard for them to like contemplate the reality. I don't know. Yeah, right. Fascism, right? That's centralized fucking authoritarian rule that results sometimes in the death of people due to ethnic reasonings, but also for anyone who disagrees, they get put in jail. And also, depending on their economic approach, people can starve to death, forcibly sometimes. And it's the same thing when the opposing perspective, where it's like everybody's centralized based on supporting of the party or the fucking, whatever the economic approach is, like, redistributing the wealth. But they do it so shittily, and they do it through violence, that they don't know what else to do once they get into power. So they're like, well, anybody who disagrees, we fucking kill them. So it's just like, and these regimes, especially like the Soviet Union existed for so long. I just don't understand how like we're just going to pretend it didn't. Like, I don't know. Anyways, the point is I in a weird way, I like to find out that there's someone in my audience on the internet who literally somehow believes that communism can just work. That somehow, like, outside of a commune of people living in tents in the woods and, listening to fucking hippie music and like, fucking grilling hot dogs together, somehow economically beyond that, it's all just going to be awesome or whatever. And that history didn't matter and what. But anyways, the point is that whatever your opinion is, I want to fucking hear it. I want to hear it. I don't care if it's disagreeing with me. I don't care if you're mad. I don't care if you're offended. I want to be offended. I never get offended. I never get to be offended. I imagine how cool would it feel to be offended? It probably feels so good. It probably feels so good that your farts are so, like, other people think they stink, but you think your farts smell so good that somehow whenever you're offended, it like matters. Like, when you're upset, your opinion, it's like it must be kind of like what my buddy's 5-year-old feels like, where they're so upset about something that they get to stomp away, pissed off, and then get what they want, right? You know what I mean? And I haven't gotten to feel that in so long, where I'm mad about something and then just my, grumpiness gets me a prize at the end. Like, that sounds cool. I'd love to be a little kid with a tantrum. But we don't get it anymore. It's bullshit. So please, make me upset. I want to be upset. My opinion is the Dodgers suck and they pay the umpires off. That's fair. I mean, it's kind of like the Chiefs now, right? Well, not anymore. Communism is thinking it would be better to smell everybody's farts. I love it. I love farts. Hey, Joe, I think she's saying that we hear the propaganda versions of other countries while we hear the opposite of our atrocities. No, I listen. I think that's the one perspective people don't realize, is that we have been so caught up in this sort of like left versus right paradigm for so long that it's somehow in people's minds that when you criticize one direction, that it's like almost an impossibility to criticize the other. But I think to have a healthy understanding of reality is to understand that none of it is ever going to be perfect. You know what I mean? In any way. And not just not perfect, but like disgusting in so many different ways. And that a lot of the times the rhetoric that you hear, the words that you hear, the utopias that are constructed, via someone's essay or their little red book or whatever the fuck, if it results in the death of millions or whatever, it's good to call it out. It's good to Joel is a wannabe chills. No, that's true. That is true. I think your cortisol levels are up and you want to rage bait yourself. That's true. I haven't had any energy drinks in so long that I just need to I need to find, you know what I mean? I think most of us were designed to just chase after a fucking woolly mammoth, and there's no woolly mammoths. So we watch videos on the internet and argue with people on Twitter just to make us feel something, bro. Just to make us feel connected. Go on The View, those old hens will offend you. You know, maybe I would. I'd be like, what are you dumb bitches talking about? It baffles me when Americans go to other countries and point out the propaganda in the schools, workplace, whatever. They act like we don't have it here. Yeah, for sure. I mean, would you be kind of surprised to find out that both sides might be controlled and say, I don't know. Maybe that's the whole point of the propaganda, is to make you feel like you're heavily involved in a very lively and energetic conversation of left versus right, but in reality all of it just leads to the same end, and in fact just kind of plays off of each other or something. Propaganda. Let me get a propaganda of them Tootsies. I used to sip on 2 Monster rehabs per day over 12 hours. Didn't have caffeine for 5 years. Powered through 1 rehab in about an hour. 12-hour caffeine overdose is the worst hangover. Interesting. All of our education is propaganda. I mean, yeah, maybe. Homeschooling your kid as soon as you can. Yeah, I mentioned those Orthodox people with their 7 kids. All of their kids are homeschooled, and they're the smartest kids I know. Literally the smartest kids I know. They're all incredibly talented. They're all incredibly social, and they just, all they do is read all the fucking time, and they're amazing. What's my favorite name for if I would name my kid? I don't know, honestly. Hannibal. No, that's scary. I know that everyone has had their fair share of weird experiences. I'm not panicking here, I just wanted thoughts and advice. I don't think I'm the chosen one or that I was abducted or something, just mildly concerned and interested. Now that said, I lost quite a bit of time last Monday. Now in the image you can see that I messaged my mom telling her that I was at Walmart waiting for her grocery pickup at 9 minutes past 4. Now I know I didn't wait more than 3 minutes because I was listening to the same song when the guy came out. She lives about 10 minutes from there, and I drove straight there with minimal traffic. Never stopped or stuck or anything. And when I arrived at their house, my parents were worried and asked if I was okay. Now I'm confused and said, yeah, why? And they said, we expected you here sooner. Now I, of course, said, well, I texted before I left Walmart, thinking that would be the aha moment, with them, of course, seeing that I had texted them 15 minutes ago and saying, oh, duh, that's right, and we'd move on to making some soup. Now instead, Dad replies saying, yeah, that was an hour ago. Now still thinking that I'd price him wrong, I checked my watch, and to my surprise, it was 4:57. I was surprised. Figured that I must have left Walmart later than I expected, so I checked our texts and saw the timestamp. Now somehow I left Walmart at 10 after 4, and then 47 minutes later, I finished my 10-minute drive to their house. Again, I'm not panicked here. I didn't see little green men or demons or anything like that, but I don't know what happened. Now, what would you do? Should I be worried that I may or may not have lost time? Do I think that lady was in the cult and didn't know? I was raised in a cult in upstate New York years ago, when you can admit your faults or your groups but see faults in everyone else. You're in a cult. Yeah, and there's a really strange subset of people on the internet, more specifically within the subcategory of your typical, I guess, Twitter user, Blue Sky user, who seem to, have an infatuation with the communistic governing style, but seem to also ignore all of its atrocities throughout time. And to me, like, that's just as disgusting as ignoring the Holocaust or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just such a weird fucking thing to, like, despise the fascistic regime of, like, Nazi World War II, but then, to ignore it in the, elsewhere. It's just such a abstract now I've been talking about that for like a decade now, more, but so boring. Thoughts on Crimson Desert? I heard there was some good updates on the Crimson Desert side, so I hear it's like in a much better state now. I have a hot voice. Thank you, dude. Appreciate you. You should be so worried you lost time. Hi, Joel. Hello, Mel. What's going on? If you have a chance to take another look at the quick ghost stories, but sort by oldest first this time. Okay. Are you a Tootsie's connoisseur? Is that, you mean like feet? Yeah, I've got my Tootsies in order. A communist society works best when they work independently in villages. Right, I mean, like, the less people, like, conceptually, sure. But then as soon as you get to the level where it's like the, military has to enforce its rules, and things become too centralized, it's just going to get out of hand. And if you already think, a government is corrupt, I mean, wait till you see it centralize its power to the extent that it's just even more easily corrupted, right? It's not like it's just going to, like, be the person in charge is going to be some, like, moralistic do-gooder or whatever. Why would they be? I mean, it's impossible. You stare into the abyss too long, the abyss stares back, right? That's why I said yeah, right. If anybody plays No Man's Sky, they just drop basically a pokey battle minigame on a Star Wars holo table. Unknown need unlocked. Interesting. That actually sounds awesome. Yeah, okay, let's read your ghost story. Wait, is this a JR one? No, that's Zombie from Zombie Chainsaw. They must have sent it during the live stream. Where's he at? If any, oh wait, yeah. I believe in any other system other than the same type of people will take over and do unthinkable things for power. I just want the same energy for the sins we commit in the name of free markets. Yeah, I mean, it is scary. So, I mean, those, like, and you just kind of have to, I guess, sit there and ask yourself, it's like, how much worse could it get if the people that are in charge of the free market now had even more power, even more centralized ability to corrupt somebody or blackmail somebody or whatever you want to say, you know what I mean? Because you know for a fact it's not going to be your guy that's getting in there. It's going to be some billionaire, some fucking somebody obviously influenced by external sources that will not take the people's desires into consideration at all. Yeah, shit. Sorry, Kevin. I don't know. Let's get it next time here. We got a lot of stories and we got some photos. Okay, nice. Corvid with the 27 months. Did you hear Reese's changed their formula and got called out? Some fans have noticed the formula change and reported a rubbery texture. Why would they change it? They change it for my favorite delicious beetle exoskeleton? What the fuck happened? Hey, a fruit fly just flew into my nose and thinking it was a booger. I put it in my mouth and crunched weirdly. What? Okay. That's good for the immune system, I think. You're doing amazing, lovely. Missed you. You're like my body double when I flip my apartment around. Nice. You get your silly little sniper yet, big dog, or what, Joel? Oh, I did get the email. Thank you so much for that, Neo. Really appreciate you. It was you, right, that sent the email. But I haven't, not like I'm like over here, like, let me sign on to Steam and get it. But thank you so much for that. Seriously. I hope that goes okay. We all get our protein from bugs in the not so distant future. Ugh, dude. That whole plan is fucking stupid as shit. Because I don't even think like the bug protein is as like bioavailable anywhere near that of like eggs or red meat or chicken or whatever the fuck, you know. Like I just don't like with our digestive bioflora in our stomach is just like not built to eat fucking bugs. Like what the fuck? Finished eating right before reading that. My chihuahua mixed with, oh nice. Anyways, guys, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I think we're done. I think we got that. We're also going to include the previous bonus content into this ghost story as well. So it's going to be a pretty long video, like 2 hours or something like that. You will adapt or you will starve. Jeez, that sounds like a threat. Crickets have the most protein milligram per kilo. Right, but I mean, that might be. Let's see. Is cricket protein as bioavailable or digestible as any other, as let's say whey or eggs or steak? I don't fucking know. Cricket protein is actually surprisingly good. Protein digestibility, how much your body absorbs. Scientists often use PDCAAs and DIAAs score to estimate reusable protein. Whey protein is near perfect at an approximate 1. Egg protein 1. Beef steak at a 0.9 to 0.95. Cricket protein is at a 0.8 to 0.89. So cricket protein is good but slightly lower. Why it's lower? Crickets contain chitin, a fiber that is the exoskeleton. Chitin makes some of the protein harder for human digestive enzymes to access. Amino acid profile. Real world muscle building comparison. I wonder if, dude, that'd be insane actually. I'd love to like see a YouTube video of someone using cricket protein to achieve their goals. Shrimp is bugs. That's a good point. Yeah, but what about the fact that I don't want to eat bugs, man? They just like arbitrarily are like, oh, the cows fart too much, guys. So fuck you. We're doing bugs. I don't know. And then like the false meat thing is just fucking weird. Well, let's actually check this. Did Congress actually pass a law that didn't require certain manufacturers from labeling lab-grown meat as what it is at the grocery store? That's me flirting. It's me typing up a big flirt message. You sponsor me, I'll be Cricket's Gaines Lab Rat. Yeah, I'll buy all your cricket protein for you. You just only eat crickets. That'd be amazing. No, Congress has not passed a law allowing lab-grown meat to be sold without labeling as such. In fact, the current regulatory direction is the opposite. Federal rules, what the U.S. government actually requires, the FDA and the USDA jointly regulate cultivated lab-grown meat. USDA must approve the label before the product can be sold. Labels must not be false or misleading, and they must accurately describe the product. The USDA has been developing rules that will require terms like cell cultivated in the product name so consumers know what it is. Okay, cell cultivated. Let's keep an eye out for that one. Don't eat it. So federally, companies can just call it beef or chicken without... Wait, so federally, companies cannot just call it beef or chicken without clarification. The label must be reviewed and approved before it reaches stores. Congress specifically has not passed. Many states are actually going even further. Some ban lab-grown meat outright, Florida, Alabama. Others require clear labeling like cell culture to lab-grown. Has there been any studies showing any negative effects of lab-grown meat? What's my guilty pleasure? Jerking off. I don't really know, man. Fucking shoveling a whole cheesecake in my ass. That was being ironic because people already eat water bugs. No, yeah, I mean, I do like sea bugs. No clear evidence of negative health effects so far. Scientists say they need more data. Potential risks. Scientists are studying contaminants during production, differences in nutrient composition, trace contaminants, allergy questions. Whatever. Stupid fucking dark future we live in. By the way, spoiled my girlfriend today and got her flowers along with coffee and a cold compressed sleep mask. Cold compressed sleep mask. She gets bad migraines quite often. Nice. That's awesome. That's very kind of you. Are you going to see Avengers Doomsday? I gotta be honest, that when you say the term Avengers Doomsday, to me it just sounds like that movie's been out for 10 years already, and it made $2 billion, and they've already made 6 sequels. I don't know, man. Like, all the Marvel stuff, alright, I'll go see it with you, it's fine. Some rules haven't been updated. I don't know, I don't want to eat any of their shit. I don't want to eat bugs, I don't want to eat lab-grown meat. Stop telling me that the fucking cows that we've fucking harvested for years and years are destroying everything. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. Anyways, I do sound a bit jaded. Apologies. I gotta be a positive. I'm a positive YouTuber. Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. Take your pants off. I'm laughing right now because my Sony headphones are soundproof and the music makes me thump and freak me out. Anyways, guys, yeah, we're changing our channel to James Charles Live. That's what every live stream will be called from now on. And I will go ahead and get these stories up and edited over on Patreon. It's only $1 a month over there for early access. And then I'll get it up on YouTube, same time, same place. 9 p.m. EST. Guys, I know there's only 300 of you here right now compared to the 1.3 million apparently that watch the channel. But if you can watch the video right when it comes out, YouTube's been so picky lately when it comes to whether a video starts to pop. So we got to start popping those videos, popping packs like Pokemon pards. Tragically, the only thing that can stop them from gaining power is a level of resistance that we as Americans don't seem to have. Like a general strike, always good. Yeah, whenever everybody's comfortable, it's like, what's the point, right? What's the point of doing anything when everyone is just kind of like used to a degree of like lifestyle? And I'm sure there's other things that slowly pacify our brains or whatever. But and then if you ever actually get any traction, whether it's like a movement that's not already been co-opted, you just get labeled as like a domestic terrorist or some stupid shit. And yeah, it's pretty systematic at this point, sadly. I'm a pretty complacent person. All I really know how to do is chill. If you want to break into YouTube, you missed that boat. Damn it. Maybe I can. Do you think I could start a YouTube channel? Oh, am I doing an outro? I am, yes. Thank you for reminding me. Jeez, I've been gone for one day and I forgot how to do my entire thing. Are you going to see the back rooms? I actually do think I'm going to see the back rooms. That does entice me a bit as to how weird it will be. Don't underscore the value of saying like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the hype button. That's a good point, yeah. Hitting the hype button. What the fuck is the hype button? Do I even have a hype button? I don't think I do, honestly. Channel too big. That's what she said. Hey friends, thanks for listening. Click that notification bell to be alerted of all future narrations. I release new videos every Monday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Be sure to check out the videos right when they come out, as it really helps the channel. And there are super fun live streams every Sunday and Wednesday night. I'd love to see you there. And if you got a story, be sure to submit them over at my email, letsreadsubmissions@gmail.com, and you might even hear your story featured on the next video. And if you want to support me even more, grab early access to all future narrations and bonus content over on Patreon, or click that big join button to hear about the extra perks for members of the channel. And check out the Let's Read podcast, where you can hear all of these stories and big compilations located anywhere you listen to podcasts. And I also have a true crime channel called Saturn Soul. All links in the description below. Thanks so much, friends. Subscribe and hit that like button, I guess. The hype button prevents STDs. The hype button, it will cure, it's been known to cure HIV and syphilis. Joel, you don't like booger eaters. Why is that? You've asked that question twice. Why is that? Am I supposed to be stoked about everyone eating their boogers on Earth? That's what we need. Instead of crickets, they should skip right to boogers. They're like, sorry guys, we're out of cow meat, chicken meat, eggs, and fucking chitin. Why don't you just eat the boogers in your fucking nose? Welcome to communist America. We can all share. I have a good ghost story on my channel, on my page that happened to me. Okay, nice. Seaweed. Yeah, let's try. Yeah, just switch to seaweed. Oh. Alright, guys. Love you, appreciate you. We're going to catch you on the next live stream, which I think will be this Sunday. Maybe I'll finally do some bonus content for frick's sake. Get it out there for all to hear. Oh, shit. But stay safe, stay good. Don't be afraid too hard, you know. Live your life. Like, literally go live your life, because what the fuck else is there to do, right? I know we love our routines, but gotta go do something, you know, something fun. Just take the money out of your bank account, put it into a first-class flight to Margaritaville, and just have yourself a good old time. Alright, guys. Adios, muchachos. Follow me on Instagram at letsread.official. And I am about to acquire myself an Osprey blueprint. See ya.